There we go, chat. We should be live for the week 2 game between the Aviators and the Defenders. Should be, at least. I'm just trying to reply to the last comment. Unlike last week, I did a good job at replying to all the comments in the video early today. So, trying to do this one real quick. But, really do some help there, lol. And we should be good there. Okay, that's the last one. That is every comment done. Sup, Mog Media, sup, nope. I see Forrest and Michigan were in here earlier. Let's immediately start by asking the quick little poll of who gets the W. Who wins? We got DC and we got Columbus. Should I spell Columbus the same way that apparently it's spelled by the UFL? Because the good old UFL, spelled Columbus, COLOMBUS. So I kind of want to do that, but we'll put the actual name. We'll be respectful. So up Tisdale. I don't know if you saw the last one, Tisdale. We do now have the Defenders emoji emoji in the community members. So you can now use the DC Defenders logo in the team or in the team emojis. So big W there. Bet my house on DC. Let's go, Columbus. Hey, we'll see. This is going to be an interesting one. I put my... Oh, my goodness. Advertising the game on Sunday but doesn't have its schedule is killing me. That's actually pretty funny. Hey, I'm just saying, this game is in Columbus. I don't know what the official estimated number is, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a pretty good crowd, so, that's going to be an issue. We'll see. I mean, let's see. The biggest question marks for this game for both teams are really the fact that you have the question mark of the O-line for DC. Yes, they signed Yasir Durant and another guy, but, as mentioned by multiple guys after talking to Shane Harris, Yasir Durant will not play this week. He is going to be playing next week, essentially. So, next week is when he's playing, so that's a big hindrance to DC from what their hopes were. And as for Columbus, obviously, it's the red zone efficiency was horrible last week. I mean, the score doesn't indicate how bad they were in the red zone. They were like 1 of 5 in the red zone, so they definitely need some improvement there. Those are really the two biggest question marks for both teams. Obviously, the other one is, can DC's defense play as well as they did against St. Louis? And as for Columbus, it's more so, can they just not make mistakes? They didn't really make a ton of them, but yeah. Yeah, that was cool to see them open up extra tickets. I forgot who the halftime show is tonight. I think tonight's one of the, another one of the guys in like the lower end tier, but I forgot who it was. Obviously, Ludacris is on Sunday for Easter, but I do not remember who tonight's halftime show is. Because remember, we still have the halftime performances this week. And technically, we have them up until week 4, because I believe that's when Birmingham has their home debut, which is the last one of the season. So, still got all that we got to wait for, but, we'll see. It is what it is. Let's pull up this real quick. Defender should actually be a defender team. I will say, I know I've made the joke a lot over the past little bit, but it is hilarious how, we call DC the Defenders, that's their name, despite the fact that they've historically been an inept defensive franchise. They've literally been in, the bottom 3 defenses for 2 of the 3 years for sure. They might have been in all 3 years, which, when you put it in, that perspective, it's pretty funny. You know what I mean? So, definitely a funny one right there. Look at this. Tabs. Okay, yeah, there's too many things back here. It is what it is over here. I'm just looking at everything over here. Got it. Okay. Let's see. Let's try this out. I need to see if this works, so we'll test that out as well. But yeah. Nelly halftime show for Orlando was better than the Super Bowl halftime show. Nelly halftime show for St. Louis, yes, that was a good show. Orlando's show of DJ Khaled. If the Defenders deep plays like last week, Columbus blows them out. I mean, their defense didn't play that bad last week, I wouldn't say. It wasn't that bad, honestly. I don't think it was anything to write home about, but I think it was a good enough performance. They looked decent. It was just obviously that their offense sucked, but yeah. Tampa Bay, I mean, I'm not somebody that likes relocating teams in the big pro leagues just for the sake of relocating them. I think that the issue with them is that there's just where their stadium is placed is pretty poor. It's not the fact that the market is bad. Like, I think they should stay in Tampa Bay. I just do think they need to move where they're playing at. You know what I mean? Like, move somewhere within that area. That's basically what I think. But, yeah, as long as you're not doing what the Athletics are doing where they are going to Vegas for no reason. And it's like... And last is DJ. I've got Russell Dickerson ahead of Ty Myers. I wasn't the biggest fan of Myers' show. Dickerson was a pleasant surprise to me. Nelly was a good show. That was a good show for sure. DJ Khaled, Manny, not the best. No, he wasn't. I think my prediction for this game, I'm going to pull up the exact score. I have it on the side. I can pull up real quick. I think I said it last... I said it last week during the streams. I think the Golden Knights literally can't play anywhere else. They are a true Vegas team in the purest of sense for such an impure city. They belong in Vegas in a good way. I don't think any other team really should be. I think the Aces are legitimately like the second most Vegas-coded team. I really don't think a sports team like the Golden Knights work. I don't think the Athletics especially will not work. The Athletics, their entire history is based on like the opposite of Vegas. Like they're based on things like, oh, we're going to get the super cheap roster, Moneyball strategy, and then it's like, oh, we're going to be Vegas. I don't think the Raiders, even though the Raiders, like, it really should work there, I feel like they've had such a long history in both Oakland and LA that it doesn't really feel like a Vegas team to me, and I feel like it's kind of like, if they feel like a cheap version of the Raiders, especially because of, their owner and Mark Davis, so even them, I'm not the biggest fan of them being there, and the fact that they're getting an NBA team as well, it's like, hey, it is what it is. The Golden Knights work there, but aside from that, I don't know. Like, the Golden Knights, man, that's a spectacle. But, yeah, I picked DC to win this one. I think it's going to be a lower scoring 22-16 game. We'll see how that ends up working out. It was 1 point off last week getting the Columbus game perfect, but maybe we get lucky in this one. We'll see. And then, obviously, I don't think we ever actually got the official TV ratings for the last game, which... hilarious and sad at the same time. We never got the official one. Like, I know somebody put out some random number, but it was like one guy from PFN put it out, and there's been like no corroborating stuff. It's become pretty clear that Mitchell did have sources within like Nielsen to be able to get official ratings. So that definitely sucks that we're not finding out those ones, because if that game was anywhere decent, that would have been a really successful week one, but it is what it is. Most people in Vegas are Dodgers fans. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Let's go. AV says Indie Rock. Hey, we'll see that Aaron Golan got replaced. Yeah, that was something else. That was definitely interesting to see last week. Seeing that happen. That was pretty funny. I'm gonna be honest. That was funny, but that was great. What is this, man? There's so many random stuff going on YouTube right now. Let's go back over here then. The Islanders officially become the NHL's answer to the Colts. Yeah, what happened to the Islanders? Are they, like, falling off a cliff right now, if I remember correctly? Like, didn't they get pwned? Oh, yeah, they're losing to the Flyers. Yeah, they're falling off pretty hard, but thankfully they're in the Metropolitan, which is not that hard. Yes, Michigan Panthers jersey I've got on. I mean, technically, this is a jersey of a team that's playing tonight, because the Aviators were the Panthers, so I guess it works, but obviously I don't have a jersey for the Defenders or the Aviators, since we can't even get one, but yeah. Ricky Proza, Dan Campbell. I guess you could say that. I don't really know for sure if I feel like he is, because when I look at Dan Campbell, I look at him as a pure motivator of men, and that's it. But maybe, yeah. Seeing 2.2 answers 300 views live. So, energy level, yeah, he was going at it. I do agree with that. He was definitely going at it last week. But AJ Smith, man, I don't know. I feel like it's been only 1 week, so I can't be like, oh, I knew it, but like I told you guys, I had to put him at 4 below Mazzone. I mean, my God, he looked bad as the OC for the Battlehawks last week. Like, that's one of those where if you ended up having a different coordinator, that the Battlehawks could have easily beaten DC by like 20. Not 20, but by like 15, maybe 10. But AJ Smith really like single-handedly dragged him down. Why is the game on Tuesday? The main reason is because it's supposed to be the post-March Madness game, since the championship is on Monday. That's the whole idea of it. Though, as I mentioned when they did the announcement of the giveaways for each game, because for those who don't know, every single UFL game is giveaway, I mentioned that the fact that they didn't have a basketball specific giveaway, so it just kind of feels like you put a game on Tuesday because it would fit on TV, and they don't want to have to deal with putting, two games on at the same time, having the regional blockouts like they did last year and all that. So, yeah. The Raiders signing Kirk Cousins. It's a smart move by the Raiders. Fernando Mendoza should not be the day one starter, and that's just because of the fact that historically just starting on day one is not really the best play. You should, get some time to acclimate yourself in the NFL before you end up becoming a starter and all that. I think we've seen that time and time again. That's usually the best way to do it. Have a guy sit for a few weeks, then come on. So I think that, it's a good move for the Raiders. I think he should be the day one starter because of the fact they should be letting Mendoza learn a little bit and then put him in a few weeks. Especially because that team does have enough pieces around, get the offense going, and then put him in. I think that was a smart move by the Raiders for sure. Well, the best crowd of the season tonight, Orlando was this. Orlando was a bit of a coin flip because the thing is that technically speaking, it actually, in a way, wasn't. Because the only Orlando game that did better than that one in this era of spring football was week 1 of the Guardians in 2023. And even then it was only by 1,000, and the fact that it was in Camping World Stadium, which is like a 60,000 seat stadium compared to the 25,000 in Turnco. So all those ways, and Orlando's crowd was allowed. It definitely would have hoped to be higher. But like I said, the biggest concern I have is the second week attendance for all these teams. The fact that you had these sales going on. I know now they're pushing out other sales, which again, another issue I had was that they might alienate more season ticket members. But we'll have to see. Raiders signed Kirk Cousins. Yeah, oh yeah, that's hilarious. The fact that he got that contract at all, even if it's really a 1-year deal, is hilarious because it is insane that they would even sign him for that. Like, the idea that that is still his contract, even if that's not the point, is hysterical. And ball out towards ACL, made the Super Bowl next season. I mean, like, it can work, but again, like, Pat Mahomes essentially didn't play it down his rookie season. He played, like, 1 game in his rookie season. Drake May didn't come until late in this first season. Jacoby Brissett started most of the year. And you have a lot of those things working. Again, Malik Willis is proof of that as well. Malik Willis never should have started his rookie year. Same with Anthony Richardson. They were both guys that were pegged as developmental quarterbacks, and instead of developing them, they threw him out there to try to save the coach's job, and it backfired. And now Anthony Richardson is nobody wants him, and Malik Willis had to sit for a couple of years, get 3 good games in, and now might be somebody. Yeah, Cousins MVP. Yeah, Cousins' agent is an MVP for sure. That is the truth right there. Remember, we still got the poll going on who you think is going to win tonight's game, DC or Columbus. Got 17 votes so far. Let's see. Any other posts coming out? Check in. Seeing anything else? Family Feud is ending. Got the game coming on. I think Kenny Pickett will get cut. I don't think he'll get cut because I think they just want him as the backup, to Bryce Young. You got rid of Andy Dalton. If they kept Dalton, I would say that, but unless we draft a quarterback, I don't expect us to cut Pickett. I mean, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'm pretty sure he did technically play a couple downs for him, so, he played a couple downs in the Super Bowl for the Eagles. I think he came and did a knee or something, but, so he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, technically. So, that's something that Bryce Young probably won't be, but we'll see. Kenny Pickett to the Gamblers. Oh, my God. Yeah, I will say I'm not the biggest fan of pushing out Dalton. I do understand why they did it. I understand that, you got something for him, and he's somebody that isn't... the idea that you actually got something for trading him is pretty good, but I liked having him as the backup, but I understand it. You're at this point now where Bryce Young has to, prove it this year that he is that guy. The fact is, especially, living in Carolina, my God, he is becoming unbelievably overrated by the media locally. You would think Bryce Young's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL if you only listen to Carolina sports talk. It is crazy. Was he the worst quarterback in the league? Absolutely not. Was he good? Also no. He played a great game against Atlanta and 2 very good games against LA, and most of the rest of the year was typical not good football by Bryce Young. I fully agree with that. And I honestly, with that analyzed, I think it's they're sort of the opposite, proving both sides right. For the first year, it was all the Bryce fans saying, well, imagine if you give Bryce a super team like CJ Stroud had, he'll look really good. Then as soon as he's getting a better team, we're seeing that he also isn't that guy, the same way that now CJ doesn't have that super team around him. He isn't. So I agree. I mean, I don't know if you agree with this, but I truly believe the NFL quarterback relative to what their sport gets paid. Because obviously, like, you can make the argument NBA players as a whole are overpaid. Per position in the sport, the single most overpaid is quarterbacks in the NFL. Like I've said it before, in a given time frame, there should be no more than like 3 quarterbacks getting 50 mil a year. Like the idea that 50 mil is like the benchmark for a great quarterback, I think is asinine. You're paying anywhere from, depending on the year, a fourth to a sixth year salary cap to one guy. And if that one guy is like Tua Tagovailoa, turn the ball over, you're screwed. And, you have to deal with it, and you can't really do anything about it. But that's how it is. But, quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. And I do this because, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback single-handedly drag a team to the Super Bowl the way I have seen a goaltender single-handedly drag a hockey team to the Stanley Cup Final. Cough, cough, the Dominic Hasek Buffalo Sabres. That team, if you go back and look at that team, is ass. The fact that that team even made it to the conference final, let alone the Stanley Cup Final, is insane. We've never seen a carry job to that level by an NFL quarterback. Yes, it's because of how many players on a football field. The point still stands. So it's arguably the most important position in sports. It isn't guaranteed like a lot of people try to have you believe. I think quarterback position is overpaid. There are a few guys that deserve to get $50 million, but when Dak Prescott's getting $60 million, and there's a good argument he's not even top 10. Okay, Adam, I don't know about that. I mean, if you were going to pull even though the defense is great, if you're going to pull the 2012 Joe Flacco card, I could see it because he had that great playoff run, even though he had the great defense. Eli Manning, okay, we pushing a little bit. I know you love you some Eli Manning, but, hey. Kurt Menefee in the broadcast. Let's see who does this one. Go down. There we go. 24 hours. Hey, yeah, I mean, couple win. Ooh, damn, we got some people on the top area. We didn't have that at Orlando. That looks pretty good. Ted Ginn on football. I hope Ted Ginn has a better game. Ted Ginn's week 1, some question marks. Here's the thing. It really shouldn't have been shocking, but the fact is, I think a lot of it's because it got hidden by the fact it was Redmond versus AJ, so they didn't really have that disparity or discrepancy. But there were some clock management issues, some timeout issues, choices like at the end of the game last week when he decided to go for 1 instead of 2 when a 1-point conversion would have kept it a 9-point game if Orlando kicked a field goal instead of going for... It was just some weird coaching decisions. Obviously, the announcers literally in the face of Captain Munnerlyn in the red zone, not once but twice, was a choice. That was awful to watch. I really hope they don't do that again. Like, it's one thing if, you got Jaron Horton in the booth, who's that kind of people's guy, versus a guy in his first ever time DCing a big game. Like, come on. For the home openers, it is still going to be halftime performances. For the non-home openers, it's going to be a much shorter halftime. But with that as well, there's not going to be a true show. They're probably going to end up showing highlights from the weekend and some basic video you'll end up seeing 40 times. Like last year for DC, they ended up showing the beer snake thing like 4 times during the year. The only broadcast that actually did halftime's justice between the USFL, XFL, and UFL was the USFL on NBC in year 1 actually had a halftime show. But since then, a regular halftime show, but since then it's been nothing at halftime. But part of that is that they have very quick ones, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a decent crowd right there. I mean, you actually have people like in the 200s. You didn't really have that in Orlando. Again, Orlando still saw, but that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Miller just put out something about that as well, and it's true. It definitely looks a lot better there. Get this up over here. Yeah, got that put up there. This should be popping up soon. So we'll see in a second. I would hope that we get a halftime show at some point. It's what made the NBC broadcast especially look so much better and feel so much more professional is the fact that you did have the halftime show. You had your Jason Garrett talking about the UFL during halftime, and that was definitely something that made it look and feel a lot more professional. Really is a shame that they haven't brought that back yet, especially if you're going to spend all this money from everything, but yeah. Rip the showboats. Yeah, I mean, if you're following the players, well, I was going to say a good thing about them, but I don't know. For those of you that haven't heard yet, it looks like Jay Adams is out for the entire year. So, yeah, that sucks. But at least the Kings looked good in week 1. Even though they lost, they still looked good. But yeah, it looks like Jay Adams is out for the year, which is a big blow for that team. We'll see how they do this week. Again, the biggest thing that I want to see this week from every team, but basically Orlando, is the ground game. The ground game for most teams this past weekend was rough, right? It was bad. Birmingham and Louisville, neither team had a good ground game. St. Louis, DC, neither had a good ground game. Columbus had a couple moments, but despite having three quality running backs, didn't do much. And and then even Arlington, Dallas, they just threw the ball the whole time, so they didn't have to run. So we'll see how this week goes. But yeah, I would not be shocked if Columbus ends up finishing with the third or fourth best attendance in the league. Obviously, St. Louis is going to be one, and DC is probably still going to be two. I wouldn't be shocked if them and Louisville are competing for the third and fourth spot, which will be. I mean, Columbus has to as well because even though, yes, obviously Soccer Stadium versus Ford Field argument, Bernie Kosar, but even though you have that argument, the fact of the matter is that Michigan did have like a really good crowd last year, but in terms of look, wow, that's a good shot. Even though there's some yellow seats you can see there for before kickoff, this is looking like a pretty good crowd. I mean, this is looking better than every game last week, but like Louisville, but yeah, that's a good shot. Yeah, talking to Ted Ginn right now, heading before the game. Seeing Toe in the background. I know some people, I just can't. It depends how much power he really has as the Spring King. Because if you're a Renegades, if you're Rick Neuheisel, surely you know that you do not want to risk what happened to the Vipers happening to you, where you trade him and then he ends up winning the championship. So I would feel like it's a matter of, does he have any sort of say in the league? Because if so, yes, probably by week 5. If not, then no. Also, if you're Neuheisel, you would want to keep him as your team's backup because he is such a good backup. If he's the backup, he's the best backup in the league. But if I was Neuheisel, no. Unless I am literally getting a top 3 running back, which is that team's arguably biggest need on offense, no. But if I'm going to get a top running back, I would. Kickoff is up. Columbus is kicking it off, so we will have DC getting the ball first. And it's a touchback to start the week. I will say Ryan Koo was, I would say robbed for Special Teams Player of the Week. They gave it to Matt McCrane because he kicked the first 4-point field goal, but they, forgot to mention that he also missed another field goal. Ryan Koo was the only guy that made 3 kicks or more that didn't miss one. I thought he got robbed for that award, but it is what it is. Sup, Steven? Good old Aviators and then Viking. I see here, Royce, for math. So, again, I'll close this poll in a couple minutes, so make sure you vote on this before I turn it off. Remember, as I said earlier, for those of you who joined recently, Yasir Durant is not playing tonight. He is going to be suiting up in week 3. So their O-line is still going to have some of those issues that we saw last week. So we'll see. Something bugging on that score bug because that's looking pretty bad. So let's see. First down at the 40-yard line thanks to the touchback. Ball is snapped. It's a little toss play to the right. Rush up and gets about 4 yards on the carry. Yeah, this is a solid crowd. I mean, it really does look like this is one that looks solid. Whatever the number they announce is probably going to look like this. This is a good one for sure. The Friday Night Lights, love to see it. Yeah, players to watch. Ty Scott, that's a good player to watch. 2nd and 6, ball snapped. They delay handoff and they throw it to the left. It's going to be caught and he's going to rush up and gets the first down. Going to be at about the 49-yard line. Remember, for those of you that are new to the UFL, once you cross the 50-yard line, unless you're within 2 minutes, you cannot punt the ball. So DC is now banned from punting the ball during this drive, unless they somehow manage to have a 28-minute drive. So they are not allowed to punt. App-wise, I know it's on the Fox Sports app, the official Fox Sports app, and I believe that's it. There might be one other one, Tubi or something, but I know Fox Sports is the one that has it. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. Tiamu throws deep to the right. He's beat his man. It is caught at the 20-yard line. And he gained about 4 yards while falling down. Depending on where they spot him down, it's going to be a Cornell Power reception to about the 20, maybe the 15-yard line. Great play by DC and a great throw by Tiamu. Not a good start for Columbus right there. I mean, he just beat his man. Perfect throw. That's the kind of throw that Tiamu was making in the championship game. Beautiful. Or Fox won. I think it's... I don't remember what the app is officially called. It's whatever Fox's app is. They throw it to Powell again, but it's a bit of an awkward throw. And he ends up losing about 3 yards. Gotta love it. Deep throw, perfect. Close throw, misses, essentially. Yeah, they do not want you to get the touchback for sure. That's Because I think it was 35. I know they changed like some rule by 5 yards of the kickoff. The kickoff has so many like not even intricate, just like super vague rules that just suck. But yeah, taunting on the defense. Oh my god. Uh, you know what? That's not the most egregious one in the world. I'll say that. That's not the most egregious taunting in the world, but I think the helmet contact, I think that's why they gave him that one, so I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide as a taunting penalty. And remember, one of these teams is going to get their first win of the season as well. Both teams are 0-1, so yeah. Phox won, okay. Yeah, I forgot what they called it because I know like they changed the names. Like all these companies keep changing their apps for no reason. Talman gets the snap, looks to the middle of the field, looks to the left. He's getting pressured again, and he gets taken down at about the 20. So they're right back to that Cornell Powell reception. Insane right there. That was bad. I don't remember this. Like I've never been like the biggest hater on certain score bugs. I've never been like the most like I hate this or I like this. This one that the UFL has basically kept for like 4 years at this point. I like the one they have on here. I honestly like it when they keep the same one. I don't like them changing every single year just to make it, differentiated on TV. I think it was okay. It was anything that stuck out to me. In shotgun, 2 receivers on both sides of the ball. Running back to Talman's right. Ball snap, looks to the right side of the field. Throws, and it's going to be incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and goal from about the 17-18. And he's getting another flag. Oh, it's going to be DPI this time. Let's see. Wait, is this DPI or did he get another taunting? I think they're sounding like it was another taunting penalty. Oh my god. Okay. Gene DeLance. I don't know how you lost all that weight and changed that name. Get cut. He's gone. That's egregious. That is a true penalty. He should be ejected for that. I would eject him if I was an official. He literally threw him on the ground well after the play was over. I like this one, Adrian. I would keep this one personally. I think this is a solid one. So I would keep it, but yeah. Wow, he's still in the game. That's insane. Ball is snapped. They do a handoff to the left, and it's going to be up to the 5, up to the 3, and he's down at the 3-yard line. Yeah, that is insane. If he... That's insane. He literally threw a guy on the ground. That's a terrible play. Gotta love it. Yeah, the stupid penalties, once again, that's a... Yeah, that was a bad one. I mean, you literally threw a guy onto the ground when the play was over like 3 seconds ago. I mean, you literally hit... It's like what Klatt was saying. You literally hit the ball. You knew it wasn't caught. Why are you throwing him on the ground? 2nd and goal. Talman with one guy to his right and one behind him. He hands it off to the guy left, and it's going to be stopped at the 1-yard line, maybe? They blew the whistle. It's going to be stopped at the 1-yard line. Yeah, they blew the whistle, so it's going to be stopped at 1 yard, maybe half-yard line. Going to be 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. So let's see. I was kind of shocked they let that go on for as long as they did. Last week they had a lot, but yeah. They blew the whistle around there, so it is stopped short, even though they would have definitely gotten it. It's close, though. So let's see. Crowd's getting alive right now. Pretty sure that shirt was the giveaway for this one. Going in the weird formation right here. Got 3 guys in the backfield. Motioning tight end to the right. And they hand it off right over the middle, and it's a touchdown. Not a huge... see, if you're going to do the play like that, I'm okay with you being in shotgun if you have an extra blocker in front. That's something that a certain Battlehawks OC couldn't do last week. Solid play. Touchdown DC. They're up 6-0 to start the game. Now, DC did go for 2 last week when they didn't necessarily need to. So let's see if they go for 2 again this time, or they're going to let McCrane kick the PAT. Yeah, touchdown DC. 2 really bad penalties. Well, one that was a penalty, and then one really egregious bad penalty by 9 on the defense. And they are going to kick this one. Let's see if McCrane can make this, because we saw a lot of missed PATs last week. So let's see if he can make this one, make it a 7-0 lead for DC. A little less than 5 minutes into the game. Ball snap, kick is up, and it is good. Okay, yep, good. Yeah, DC last week had a really good opening drive as well, and then it wasn't a really good game from them. They had a great opening drive, and that was all about it. It was rough after that. So that is definitely a good point to bring up because last week was you had a great opener. That was about it. But you know, it is what it is. Going for one, yeah. I'm not against going for one, honestly. It's just that last week you did see a lot of missed extra points, but yeah. Deion Jax gets the first touchdown, so sucks for Te'amu. I know Te'amu wanted to get the first touchdown in this game. That sucked. I should have had a nice article out this week. Made a mistake, but it can't get it out. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Let's see. Any other news? Yeah, very good look for the crowd for sure. Play number 9 might get... I mean, hey, if Garbe didn't get cut last week for Birmingham, I don't know. I mean, Gene Lance got cut like he should have 2 years ago, but we'll see about this one. The play to China Groves. But, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have him in the game for at least another series. That was a bad one. Wow, speaking about bad ones, I'm getting one of those. I don't know why this is a Twitter ad. We're getting a Twitter ad from Bleacher Report about Duke having a 44-29 lead heading into halftime. Yikes, that didn't age well. Good old Duke. That was something else. I literally was like, I wasn't even home, and I was about to get back home, and I looked at my phone, and I saw UConn hits a buzzer beater. The buzzer beater wasn't even the shocking thing to me. It was like, how did they win? Like, UConn was getting pwned the entire first half, and then, hey, it's March Madness. You know, we call it March Madness, even though the 3 most important games happen in April. So, it is what it is. The college basketball crown. I still don't even know what this even is. Like, I know it's like supposed to be like they bring in teams that didn't make it officially or whatever, but I don't know. I've always thought it was just kind of like the off-brand tournament and all that. Showing this graphic again, we just saw this one like twice last week. We're seeing it again, talking about the rebranded move teams and all that. Showing teams that didn't change, ones that moved a little bit. I love they don't even show the Panthers, Showboats, and Brahmas in this graphic. They just act like they're truly new teams. Gotta love it. That poor west side of the country. No team anywhere in sight. Gotta love it. Nowhere in sight. Terrible. What? There you go. Most of the sense for the rivalries for the 3 new teams. Oh, kickoff is up. Wow, that's a good shot for the crowd. And it's going to be another touchback. Another touchback. So Columbus going to get the ball to the 40-yard line. I think we got to wait and see. I think that's hard to judge a team being a rival for, like, a vague reason. Like, could I see this? Yes, because you do have, a former head coach of Jordan Ta'amu coordinating Columbus, and you have a former DC quarterback on Columbus, so, like, in McClendon, so, like, I could see that. But, obviously, Louisville, Birmingham should become a rivalry. It's a 2-horse team, so that should be one, but, yeah. I think they get stuffed for a field goal. Those penalties did give them a touchdown. They still would have scored, but they would have kicked a field goal. So, number 9 definitely did hand them a touchdown for sure. Ball is snapped. McClendon fakes the handoff, throws it to the right, and it's going to be incomplete. It looked like it was in his hand, but he wasn't able to bring it down. Well, yeah, it makes sense. If you're an aviator, you're flying a plane, you don't want to go into a storm. I guess it makes sense. Wow, that is a stat of all stats right there. Last 13 years since high school, 13 starts, and literally most of those were last year. Like, I think, 7 last year, because it was 2 games, Anthony Brown and 1 Henderson. I think it was 7 he started last year as a starter. I know he played in, like, 8 of them, but I think it was 7, or maybe even 6 then. Ball is snapped, they hand it off, and it's going to be about a 5-yard gain. Could have been less, but they ended up pushing him forward, so it's going to be about 3rd and 5 at the 45-yard line. Again, you're literally only, like, 15 yards away from a field goal. Again, Ryan Koo did not miss a single kick last week, but he never kicked anything over 40 yards, so definitely a caveat there. Tate Morton had a great game last week, not shocked they're showing him. And then Jaquandre White had a huge breakaway run last week as well. So, again, not shocked they're showing him. Well, let's see what they do here. This should be an obvious passing scenario, 3rd and 5. Let's see if they do. In shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, tight end is to the left as well. Ball is snapped, looks to the middle of the field, throws it. It's going to be caught. First down, gets tripped up, and is going to be down at about the 47-yard line in DC territory. Only attempted 2-point attempts. Unfortunately, that last year was rough for DC. I remember that. That was us. They were an extra point team for sure. Not a good one. First down, let's see what happens here. Under center, 3 receivers to the right in the bunch. Ball snapped. They fake the handoff. McClendon looks to the left side of the field. It is going to be caught, and he goes down while catching. It's going to be about a 7-yard reception. Might call it 6. Forte Martin, again, last week was the best receiver on Columbus. Already getting a nice reception right there. And let's see what they do in second down here. Can be at 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4. Or, wow, they're giving 2nd and 5. Wow, they really didn't give him a great spot. 2nd and 5, seeing Gunnar Oaks right there, Elise Mack. 2 tight end formation right here. Not too shocked. Again, both those tight ends, especially Oaks is a very solid one. And remember, like they're showing right now, you cannot punt the football anymore, so yeah. He made a 4-yard completion. I mean, hey, it's against his former team. Ball is snapped. Quick throw to the right. It's going to be caught. And it's going to be a first down by Gunnar Oaks, and he gets taken down about 2 yards past that, so it's going to be first down at about the 37-yard line for the Columbus Aviators. Showing Blake Williams in the sideline calling plays. Hopefully the defenders do not fight each other like they did last week. For those of you that did not watch that game last week, they started almost fist-fighting each other at the end of the game and ended up jumping off sides to officially cost them the game. St. Louis was able to kneel the ball at the half-yard line. I would have scored a touchdown just to be a dick, but, you know, if it's a rivalry game, I would have gone for the touchdown just to be that guy, but, hey, they wanted to show respect in the rivalry, so they did it. In shotgun, 1 running back to the left and right. Fake the handoff, quick throw, and it is batted. Great pass rush right there by DC. Was able to get that. That would have been about a 5-yard gain. Instead, no gain. Great play. Todd Haley trying his best to look like Rob Ryan right now. I will say, this is the 2nd week in a row they're showing his resume, and they're not mentioning the fact that he literally coached in this league, adjacent, obviously UFL, but he coached the Bandits / Showboats for 22 and 23, which, hell, those are still the 2 most successful years of that franchise, now the Louisville Kings, so should have mentioned it, but hey. Ball is snapped, looks to the middle of the field, rush up in the pocket, he's running for it, he gets about 5 yards, gets about 7, gets the first down, goes out of bounds right past the first down marker. Great run by Jalen McClendon. That's something I mentioned during the week review and all that I wanted to see him do a bit more running. Even though he is a more traditional pocket passer, he can run. See him do that more. Great play by him right there. Stopped him after the 50 and can't punt. I mean, it could be if you're able to stop him. It's obviously the only thing is that if you get one decent play, you get 1 20-yard pass, you're already in 4-point field goal range, so it's a risky one. 1st and 10 for Columbus. Motioning 3 guys far to the left. You got 4 receivers all to the left side of McClendon. 1 receiver to the right by himself in the backfield. Motioning receiver from the left to the right. Ball snapped. It's a screen pass. It is caught. He evades the man. No flag. And he gets the first down after being tripped. Another first down play. Great, just slow drive so far, which is a very solid one. Going to eat up another 5 minutes without even needing penalties. Just a good, solid drive so far. Another first down for Columbus. That could have been bad. It could have been another batted ball. 23 was a little too slow to that one. And then, could have been a penalty in 88 if he didn't put his hands up. That was a good play by him to just, release. Because if he did any more action, that would have been called. So, good play by him. Man, the Noble Pass should not look good in these jerseys. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line in DC territory. McClendon is in shotgun. Ball is snapped. Looks in the middle of the field. Throws it to the left. It is going to be incomplete. It was a bit too short of a pass. Nobody could reach it, so it's going to be 2nd and 10. If these guys had strong legs, they would be Jerry Rice conversations. 2nd and 10 now for Columbus. Yeah, last week they're showing the red zone. Again, 5 drives, 1 touchdown. This is the area where they struggled at last week. They were not able to score touchdowns when it mattered most. And they ended up kicking a couple field goals. And in the end, they weren't able to stop Orlando enough, and the field goals ended up costing them in the end. Hand the ball off, cuts to the right after going to the left. It's going to be about a 7-yard gain. Keeps going, going to be down to the 9-yard line. Yeah, they're going to call him about an 8.5-yard gain for Zaquandre White right there. Going to be 3rd down about 1.5. We'll see what they do here, because I know there was a lot of talk about should they have gone for it a couple times last week, and they ended up not going for it. Right here, this is definitely one of those debatable 4-down territory situations. If you just run up the middle twice, you surely get it one of those 2 times, you would think, but yeah. Running up the middle, let's see. Under center, 3 receivers to the right, running back behind him. It's either going to be It might be a diversion. I think they're just going to run it right up the middle. Ball is snapped, and it's a rush right up the middle, and it's a first down for Zaquandre White. About a 2-yard rush. Yeah, that was a pretty easy one to call. They put a lot of guys that right side to make it seem like there's going to be a screen pass or some sort of pick play, but yeah, that was a obvious just run right up the middle right there. First and goal officially. Let's see if they can finally punch in a touchdown here, or if they're going to have to kick another field goal in the red zone. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people that have picked DC to win this game, so definitely not what you want to see if you pick that. First and goal for Columbus at about the 6-yard line. Motioning receiver far left to the close left. Ball snap. Looks to the left side of the field. Throws, and it is going to be incomplete. It looked like he was looking for Alize Mack to cut to the left, and he ended up not doing it. But even if he did cut to the left, I don't think he would have gotten there in time. Bit of an errant throw, 2nd and 6, but thanks to where the first down marker was in the last drive, in many ways you can just view this as being, 2nd and 6, getting 4 yards in the first play. And Columbus just posted the scrimmage. It only took 8 years. Second and goal at the 6-yard line for Columbus in shotgun. 2 receivers on both sides of the ball, motioning one from the right to the backfield with him. Tight end is still the left as well, so 3 total receivers on the left. Ball snapped. It's a QB rush. He goes up. He's going to dive for it, and it's a touchdown for Columbus. It is 7-6 DC over Columbus. McClendon with the rushing touchdown. Love to see that if you're a Columbus fan. Hate to see that if you're a DC fan. And post that on there. Return to your heights in Cancun. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I've heard at least 3 people that I know have said that he literally looks like Rob Ryan, and that's definitely what he does. I gotta turn my fan on. The only thing that sucks is, it's not the time of the year where it's, super hot here, but it's not the time of the year where it's cold, so it's I gotta turn on a fan even though it's not really that cold or hot. It's just weird. Yeah, it was a nice drive for sure, Steven. And then, it's like I was saying, I don't remember if it was in the video that came out today or was the one that came out yesterday, but the one thing that I was really skeptical on with how they played was the fact that McClendon wasn't running the ball as much. Because he is somebody that, while not being a traditional, dual-threat quarterback in that regard, he is somebody that can run. And last week, it's like they didn't want him to run at all, but so far we saw 2 separate instances where him running the football ended up being huge for the team. So if they do more of that, I could be pretty solid for him. We'll just see if they can keep that up. And they did go for the extra point, and it was good by Ryan Koo, making him 5 of 5 on total kicks, if I'm not mistaken. So far, looking like the best kicker in the league, even though he hasn't kicked a single long one. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, he did not kick a single 40-yarder last week. His longest was, I think, 36. Gotta love it. Yeah, the crowd definitely needed that for sure. Doing an airplane is all I need. Well, saying a more shocking point about this, 7-7 at the first quarter with 3 minutes left. Dare I say we might actually get a high-scoring game to some degree? I mean, you usually don't ever see that in the early weeks, but maybe. Never say never. I mean, that was a solid opening drive for Columbus. Now, granted, DC, there's still a lot of questions because that opening drive was very much because of penalties by number 9. So, they're the ones that definitely need to do it, but yeah. Only thing about that number, Ray, is that they never officially announced the Texas game. Unless there was another report that came out. Because there's, one report by one guy that said a certain number, but that number wasn't really fully confirmed. But what we did have, they were very solid, right? The Friday night game was technically a bit of a disappointment, but considering the competition it had versus last year's, it was still solid. The ESPN Battlehawks game was insanely good, and even the other one was still very good compared to last year. If that Texas game was anywhere around 600K, it was a really good number for the league and definitely a great week 1. But I don't believe we ever got a true official number. as everybody's saying, we kind of took Mike Mitchell for granted. We just assumed that he was the first guy putting it out, when in reality, it seems like he's the only guy that actually had insight and inside information to Nielsen to get those numbers out. Because, waiting till Wednesday to find out like one of those numbers, and we still don't have the other one is it's not, it doesn't bode well for people that love the league, but yeah. First year head coach. I'll answer that question after the kickoff. Cardell Jones. If I'm not mistaken, isn't he the legend that beat that kid in Madden in the hospital like 70-something to like 25? Like, absolute legend. True competitor right there. Former spring football player, Cardell Jones. Return is up to about the 27-yard line for DC. I do fully understand the point, because if they do end up having a lockout, because, like, it's one of those things where it's very hard to see, because both arguments are very just. Both the players and owners are smart enough to know how bad a lockdown is, especially because there is some hopium into the MLB becoming a bigger league. It's obviously fallen from what it used to be back in the 90s, and then obviously the era before that. And they understand how bad the last major lockout was. On the other hand, they really need a salary cap, and the players don't like that. But I don't think rushing an expansion is necessarily a good idea. I think that if you can just garner some extra hype about the markets you have, but I do get where you're coming from, and I wouldn't say it's the worst idea in the world. Ball is snapped, handed off. It's going to be a rush up the middle, gets to the first down marker, going to be down at about the 40-yard line, maybe just short, so 39-yard line. But you basically got to know that the lockout's going to happen, because you're going to have to announce that literally like latest is January, latest is going to be like December for the new markets. And if they end up not having the lockout, you kind of backfired and shot yourself in the foot. So I'd say no. The attendance number won't come out till earliest the third quarter. It never comes out earlier than that, because obviously people keep coming in. It'll be anywhere from the middle of the third quarter till an hour after the games when the attendance is going to come out. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. It's going to be rushed to the right for about 5 yards. Because, like, last week we ended up having, like, 2 games, I believe. We didn't find the attendance number till, like, an hour after the game ended up happening. And one of them we heard in, like, the fourth quarter. So we might not even have that number during stream. It depends. Each market is different. It depends if certain insiders are at the game or not as well, but yeah. Tuesday night, I could see it have a pretty decent one. Well, it's on FS1. That's the only issue. It is on FS1, so FS1 hampers that, like, limited to max 600K, I think. So that's the one thing that hurts that one. Ball snap, they hand it off to the left. It is going to be about a 4-yard gain, 5-yard gain. Yeah, it's about 4.5-yard gain, so it's going to be about 3rd and 1, but it's a short 3rd and 1. No problem. It's just, because, like, Mitchell last year almost always got it out roughly 2 to 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Sometimes it was 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. But, like, last week, the Louisville game came out in, like, late third quarter. Orlando was an hour after the game, I believe. Dallas was, like, an hour after the game. And there was one other one. St. Louis, I think, did come out in, like, the fourth quarter. So, yeah, it's only a bit weird. But, yeah, I agree. The attendance is probably going to be weak on Tuesday. I would also agree, sadly. 3rd and 1, ball snap. They hand it off. Cuts to the left. It's a first down. Keeps going to the 50. Keeps going to the 45. The 40. And he gets out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. One thing is they did make some really good deals. Like, if you were at the game last week, I believe it's, like, fully 50% off and doing a lot of that. So, maybe it does well. But we'll see. And, again, we might not ever get that TV rating number. So, gotta love it. Let me pull this up on the side because I still don't believe we had the other one officially, right? No, we still don't have an official number for that Texas game, so gotta love it. First and 10 for DC. Ball snap. They fake the handoff. Fakes the throw, runs, and slides for about a 4-yard gain. They're gonna throw that flag. I gotta see the replay. At first glance, it sounded like helmet to helmet, but I think that was helmet to helmet on Teamu. I gotta see the replay of this one. Because we got to play, was that roughing the passer or, roughing, or whatever they're going to call it. Yeah, I first viewing, I don't think that was a penalty. But again, I got to see this one here. Need good attendance, product so much better on TV with the stands full. Yeah, that's the one big thing. That's the thing with Orlando I was mentioning in the past video and 2nd and 6 in the review video. Is that, again, every number is inflated. 11K in Orlando this year is literally twice as good as 12K for 2023's XFL because Camping World is such a massive stadium. That's not a penalty. He was going down almost the same time. His shoulder hit him, not his helmet. That shouldn't be a flag. That should be taken up. There's nothing he could have done. That shouldn't be a penalty. Wow, they kept it. I don't like that. 1st and 10, in shotgun. Running back to his right. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, and it's going to be about a 4-yard gain for the DC defenders right there. I would, but remember, they got rid of the second challenge. Last year, if you made the first one, you got a second one. This year, you only get one challenge. So it's like the same issue we talked about last year. You're not going to use, a challenge super early unless it's a literal touchdown, which is the one thing I hate about that. I understand they want the games to be back to being a traditional full 3 hours because last year they ended up being like 3.5 hours. But yeah, it's the one issue with it. Ball is snapped. Looks to the right side of the field. Throws it. It is caught. And it's going to be about a 2.5-yard gain. Penalties. Well, like I said, I don't think that shouldn't have been a penalty. The first two were definite penalties on defense. That one shouldn't have been a penalty. He went down around the same time. His shoulder hit him in the head. It wasn't head-to-head. Shouldn't have been a penalty to me. During Dodger games on Hugh. Yeah, Fox has done a pretty good job showing ads, even ESPN. But the second challenge, like I said, is the timing thing, right? The USFL and XFL both understood that, and MLB obviously has done it as well, where you want these games to be 3 hours, especially for the UFL with how they end up getting pushed out in the back end. They want the games to end in 3 hours. To make sure that happens, you had to get rid of the second challenge. Because what happened last year is you had a lot of teams just throwing challenges willy-nilly early in the game, and so you were almost guaranteed minimum 2 challenges used per game. And sometimes you would have 3, maybe 4, and if each one takes 5 minutes, quickly adds up, you end up having games routinely end like 3 hours and 20 minutes, 3 hours 30, and so they ended up getting the second one. That's the main reason they did it. Because in terms of pure objectiveness, you should have a second one if you get the first one correct. Because if you only have one, you're not really incentivized to use it early in the game, even if it is a big game-changing play. Because what happened last year is every single touchdown got challenged, essentially, because they would just be like, hey, if I get it, I get another, and they just... Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, if the league gets to a point where they're not going to be taken off the air in the back end, I agree that they should bring it back. I think that, is challenging till you get it wrong a bit egregious? Yes. Even the MLB challenge system, I think, there should be a limit, some limit. But the idea that you only get one, no, especially, you can challenge anything. You should get more than one penalty to challenge anything, right? I'm just saying. Maybe make it to where you get, a traditional and a super challenge. Maybe, we're in commercial break, by the way, so maybe that's a strategy, right? Make it to where you get one super challenge where anything goes, and then one challenge that's a more traditional one where it's, a spot challenge, a touchdown challenge, a fumble challenge, something like that. That's what I would say. Yeah, I agree with that, Steven. I mean, last week there was a lot of issues with clock management and penalties, and we are 1 quarter in, and you got 3 defensive penalties. Now, was one of them debatable? Yes. Was one of them egregious? Yes. So, it all evens out. But definitely need to fix that. I mean, penalties are a rough one. But, hey, these are the 2 teams that penalties really sort of showed who they were last week. Obviously, DC was more so at the very end of the game. Their chippiness against each other ended up hurting them, and they got penalties at the end of the game for themselves. And Columbus just questionable. That's the big thing. You have the only defensive coordinator that has essentially no pro experience. Yeah. The one thing with 1 per half is that you would still have the same problem you had last year, where then if you see a play let's say 5 minutes left in the first quarter, you'll throw the challenge because you get one in the back end. That's the only issue because I was thinking about saying that, but then I was like, well, then you still have the same problem with last year where they just threw them, and in fact, that way, you'd also still have the issue where if you get one wrong, do you still get the one in the second half? It's one of those where it's just... I think what Nope said is best. If the league gets bigger, you can bring it back, because if the games can go past their 3-hour time slot and not be risked being taken off the air, I think it's fine to bring it back. But at the moment, I get why they're not doing it. It's I get why they moved Michigan. It sucked, but I understand it, and we're seeing it on TV. But yeah. 3rd and 7, ball is snapped. Talman looks to the left side of the field, looks to the middle, throws. It is going to be incomplete. That was a very risky throw. He threw to a guy that had 2 guys directly on him. So very similar to last week, just the other way around. First drive, touchdown. Second drive, they're going to be kicking a field goal, the opposite of last week. We'll see if Matt McCray can make this kick to make it a 10-7 game. If you're a DC man, you're not looking forward to this because you only had 10 points all of last week. Now, you are scoring more points in the second to fourth quarter than all of last week because you put up 0 in those 3 quarters. But yeah, we'll see if he makes this one. Special Teams Player of the Week despite missing a kick. Hilarious. Typical UFL. 35-yard field goal. 2 yards longer than a traditional extra point. Will he make it? Kick is up, and it is beautiful directly down the middle. It is 10-7 DC over Columbus with almost a full second quarter left in the game. Oh, women's college basketball today. I don't even remember who's in the final for that. Well, I say final, I mean the last, the final 4. Like, I know it's UConn. I think it's UConn. Oh, that's right. UConn versus South Carolina tonight. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's a good game. Yeah, it's a good one. South Carolina was winning. Wow. We'll see if they finish it off. I'm going to put no TBH. So, yeah. I forgot the women's basketball thing was today as well. I don't even remember. Like, I'm pretty sure the men's one is tomorrow, right? I believe. I know the championship game is on Monday, so I'm pretty sure both games are tomorrow. I don't know, like, everything kind of, like, I had 2 eliminator things left heading into, like, the final game, and everything went wrong where the wrong team won for me. Like, if Duke won, I would have had a shot, and instead they lost, and I'm cooked on both of them. So even though I have 2 that are alive, I can only pick, like, 1 team in one of them, and the other one I don't even have a team I can pick, so I'm cooked there. It is what it is. It was a good attempt, but made it far on 2 of my eliminators, but that was it. Made it far so far, but in the end, it didn't matter. Shame. But, yeah, we'll see. 2nd and 6, obviously, we're going to end up having a topic on the final. We're probably going to both watch that game so we can talk about it even more in depth. Might do one for the NBA MVP race for that in 2nd and 6. We were going to do it this week, but we ended up having the other ones. Like, if there's a big fight night or a UFC card, we're going to do that, but there isn't one this weekend, so that's one topic we're going to push out. So, definitely going to have one in March Madness, 1 or 2 in the UFL, so we'll see the other ones. But yeah, I'm definitely going to force us to do the NBA MVP race because, man, I got a lot to say about that. I think that's NBA media is the worst. Of the media, like official media, it's the worst. Of the big 4, it's the worst. Like, so many people that talk about the NBA don't even know what they're talking about. Like, my God. Like, we are a week from the end of the season, and there are people in the straw poll putting Jaylen Brown number 1 in the MVP race. Nikola Jokic got 0 votes for it. Jaylen Brown got 3. Like, oh my God. Let alone the SGA talk. Oh my God. I got so much to say. That's going to be a good 2nd and 6 topic. I have so much to say about it. Yeah, the crowd is looking really nice for sure, Steven. It's looking really good. I mean, the section right now they're looking at, I don't even see an empty seat. Now, only showing part of it, but, man, it looks good. Yeah, just like I was saying, for 14, the shot they just showed behind DeGraw was packed. It is looking good. I got to look it up. I forgot. I think Historic Crew was a smaller stadium. But not, like, small, but just smaller. Yeah, it's a 20K. So this is probably gonna be, wow, they don't even show the true capacity. So this is probably gonna be, you would think, I don't know. We'll see if it technically gets called 15K. It looks solid, though. It looks really, really good. And they're showing the mascot behind him. Shock, they really haven't been showing the mascots a ton, even though they, like, added a few of them, but you got all that going right now. Yeah, they just really just say it's a dog 4 times. Gotta love it. All right, finally back to football. 1st and 10 for Columbus in the under center. 2 guys behind McClendon. 1 receiver to the left or the right. They run it, and they're gonna lose 4 yards in the play. Great pressure by DC's defense. Again, last week they did a very solid job in defense, and another one right there. But the NBA is becoming a joke. I was watching a clip, unrelated. I was watching a clip of a YouTuber who's like a soccer fan, and he was like, hey, is that, like, he was asking about a team that's similar to the soccer team he roots for, and his friend said, hey, you should root for the Sacramento Kings then. Respectfully, that guy's not your friend. If he's telling you to become a Sacramento Kings fan, all due respect, Steven, that's not a friend. that's a dick right there. 2nd and 14. They fake the handoff. McClendon shakes off the sack, throws it to Alize Mack for about a 3-yard gain. I saw that on Twitter. McAfee being back at WWE out of nowhere for just to have a segment with something else. 15K, it might be. They might announce that it's 15K, which would be solid, and hey, I would believe it because that's JP over there. Yeah, dude, imagine telling somebody, like, that's like telling somebody to become a Tottenham fan today. Like, okay, that's not the same. But, like, Sacramento, man, it's like, dude, that team, since the Weber years, they've had, like, 2 years of relevancy. They had the Bean year with Mike Brown the first year, and, like, one other one. I mean, their best player is Demonte Sabonis right now, I'm pretty sure. Yikes. They rush up to the left. McClendon runs for it, and he gets the first down. Dude, another great rush by McClendon. He rolled out to the left. Again, got the first down. So what I was saying earlier this week, he needed to use his legs more. Beautiful play right there. Love to see it. No, the pull is... Wait, is it? No, it should be closed. Oh, it's... Oh, dude, I closed it on OBS. I didn't realize it didn't close it. Thank you for that. I thought it closed. I forgot I was closing on OBS. When I have, like, the game on Fox, I have, like, OBS, YouTube Studio, Twitter, and game on. But when I have a game on ESPN, one of these gets taken off. So, yeah. 1st and 10 for Columbus. Under center ball snapped. They hand it off, cuts to the right, and he gets about 3.5 yards on the carry. It's not worth it. Another flag. Let's see what this flag is. Wow, flag on DC. Horse collar tackle, it's a 15-yard penalty. Big penalty right there for DC. Yeah, and that... Oh, that's a bad angle. Yeah. Textbook horse collar, technically. You know, you can argue it was a jersey, but it's still the whole point of it. So, tackle right there. Solid call. That's 3 to 4 good calls by the refs. So... Hey, 75%, that's better than a certain baseball umpire. If you know, you know. Mr. 6 straight failed challenges. Or successful, I should say. Under center once again. Motioning a tight end from the right. Okay, never mind. Back to the right, just in the backfield now. Ball snapped. They hand it off, cuts to the left, and DC gets some pressure, but he was still able to fall forward. It's going to be maybe a half-yard gain in the end. Very solid play right there for him. 11 minutes, 40 seconds left, 2nd and 9. But yeah, the NBA, to a point I agree. It's just like, man, it's just, like, I know you're a big baseball guy, Steven, but like regular season baseball, I can't watch it. Playoffs, love it, especially last year's playoff. But like the NBA, man, it's just, I don't know, since when was true shooting percentage the most important stat in basketball? Because apparently it is, because that's why Shea's MVP, because that's the only argument for him is true shooting percentage, whatever. Ball is snapped. McClendon rolls out to his left. He's going to run for a few yards. He evades the tackle and gets about 4 yards. Another great play by McClendon. Only a 4-yard gain, but he was able to evade a tackle that would have made him lose a yard potentially and taken a big hit. Instead, he made it move and gets about 4 yards. If you guys are horse, true. Todd Haley, let's see what Mr. Rob Ryan lookalike Todd Haley's calling. Thinks he's related to Rex. They are in field goal range. Now, well, I would say they are, but again, we haven't seen Ryan Koo attempt any sort of long-distance kick, but might be in field goal range. 3rd and 6. Ball is snapped. Rolls up in the pocket, throws over the middle. It is caught, and it's going to be short by about 2 yards. Now we're going to see how much they trust Ryan Koo. This will be the longest kick he has attempted in the UFL. Let's see if they go for the kick or they go for the first down. On first, made a terrible call. Yeah, that was the same umpire that got 6 straight calls overturned and then proceeded to go against protocol to get the guy out on the same team, even though it wasn't the right thing. Just gotta love it. They're going to be kicking this one. I'm not against it. If you make it, you tie it. It's just a matter, again, it's trusting your kicker. Let's see if we can make it. 51-yarder. Very much longer attempt than last week. Last week, I think his longest was literally 37. But he is currently 5 of 5 in total kicks. Will he be 6 of 6? Kick is up, and no, he will not be 6 of 6. It is a missed kick to the left. Would have been good for about 40, but 51, no good. So DC is going to get the ball back at decent field position at the 41-yard line, essentially like a touchback on a kick. Right now we're back in commercial break. I can rant more about the NBA MVP race. With Luka getting hurt, he's out. Like, even though there's only a week left, he's out of the race, essentially. But, I don't know. It's one of those, like, the NBA media, like, even though I know you had that one NHL voter that said, I'm not going to vote for Kucherov because of the whole... I'm not joking, because the whole war in Ukraine literally was his argument. But the NBA media, man, they picked Shea to win MVP before the season started, and even though he's not the MVP this year, they're going to give it to him again. It's the same thing they've done before, right? They did it to Giannis when he should have three-peated. They've done it to Jokic 3 times now this year, where once a guy is really good, they're not going to give you MVP, and they're going to force somebody else to win MVP, even if they shouldn't. And so it's going to happen. You know, it is what it is. Shea's going to be a 2-time MVP winner, and then next year, well, mark my words, next year he'll actually have a true, honest-to-God, super-tier MVP season, and he won't win it because it'll be 3 straight. Mark my words. It's going to happen next year. Because this year, his whole argument is true shooting percentage and efficiency. Next year, he's going to do that, but actually, like, have assists and rebounds, and he's not going to win it because we can't give him 3 in a row. We're going to give it to Victor. Just watch. Typical NBA media. They did it to Jokic. They did it to Giannis. They're going to do it to Shea. Did it to LeBron. They did it to Jordan. They're just terrible. NBA media's been a joke since the 60s, and they still are. Yeah, that's a good call about the 4-point field goal. I don't know if we're going to see that from the Aviators. I mean, that's like the big thing with... Because last year, remember, last year there wasn't a single 60-yarder attempted, right? 2024, even if you eliminate Jake Bates, you still had, I believe, 3 other teams attempted and made them. Like, I want to say there was, like, 3 made by other teams. So, like, you had a bunch of 60-yard field goals kicked relative. But last year, you didn't even have a single one attempted, if I'm not mistaken. You maybe had 1 attempted, but none were made. So the fact that we already saw one in week 1 was pretty shocking, but yeah, because I mean, you've got to be accurate and you got to have that leg, and there's only so many kickers in this league that even have the leg to kick it. That's a great looking shot. This looks like a really good crowd. This is a good crowd. This might be like announced 17, but 15 are in attendance, which is still incredible. This is a good crowd. Love to see it. As long as they keep this up. Again, week 1 numbers to me are not meaningless, but they don't mean a ton. Week 2 ones do. They rush up the middle. It's a first down, and then some Teamu gets almost 20 yards on the rush up the middle. They saw what McClendon was doing, did the same thing. Nice QB draw right there. But week 2, you know, what I mean by week 2 is week 2 for their team at home. Obviously, if you have a second home game, make it better than the first one. That's what I want to see. If they can, like, keep 10K plus, awesome. 1st and 10 for the defenders. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Running back behind Teamu, ball snap. They hand it off. Cuts to the right, goes through 2 guys, keeps going, gets about 8.5 yards on the carry. Maybe they call it, wow, they really stopped him short. They're going to call it about a 6-yard rush, 9 minutes left, 2nd down. Yeah, the team was going to be neat. True. I mean, hey, it's not the 2024 Memphis Showboats. G-Man, if you're here, I'm sorry, but I had to say it. In shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the far left, tight end to the left as well, ball snapped, hands it off. Going to get about 4.5 yards on the carry. Going to be stopped just short. Going to spot him about half yard shy than they should, but still 3rd and 1 for the DC defenders. See if they can get this. Again, they have made a 60-yarder, so they are, you know, they are, for all intents and purposes, basically in field goal range, right? They are in field goal range for sure. But will they get this? And if they don't, will they go for it in 4th down? I don't know. Again, McCrane did also miss a kick last week. Missed a shorter one, so we'll see. 3rd and 1 for DC. 8 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. In shotgun. 1 receiver far out to the left. Motioning him into the inside. Fake the handoff to him, and they hand off to the running back. And they're going to end up losing half a yard on the play. Going to be a little more than 4th and a yard, which, if you know what I say, if you're within a yard, you go for it anywhere on the field. If it's more than a yard, I wouldn't always go for it. If you trust your kicker that made a 4-point kick last week, you're already up by 3. This makes it a touchdown game. I'd kick it. Wow, they really made him lose yardage. I do not like them going for it here. They might try to go him offside, just call a timeout. You could say it's wasting time, but we'll see. 6 seconds left to snap this ball. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Wow, they are snapping it. Fake the handoff. This should be a 1st down. Yep, it is. Great throw, 1st down. So I'll play right there. Right now, I've got Sunkissed. The Zero Sugar Sunkissed. I'm alternating that and bottles of water. at the moment. Memphis doesn't support lazy teams. Dude, poor Memphis, dude. Even LeBron threw a stray at Memphis. LeBron saying they need to move the team to Nashville. That was so wild. I saw that. It was hilarious. In shotgun ball snap, they hand it off. Cuts up the middle. Gets about 7 yards in the carry. Great play by them right there. It's going to be at 2nd and 3. What do you mean, hey, he's not the first guy to do that? I mean, I know Draymond said it. I think there was someone else that also said something like that. I bet Harden said something like that in the past. 2nd and 4 for DC. 6.5 minutes left in the half. In shotgun, running back to his left. They hand it off, going to the right, and he breaks away from the tackle, gets the first down, gets tripped, going to be down about the 18-yard line. 6 minutes left. In theory, Columbus should want their next possession to be the last possession of the half. We'll see if they can manage the clock well for that. And obviously, if they get to that point, but we'll see. New posts. Anything else? Aviators saw that one right. That's mean. Ball is snapped. They hand it off to the left. Makes a little stunt move. Keeps going. And he goes down about the 10-yard line. Another thing to note, obviously, for those of you that haven't said anything yet, a big thing with this game specifically is that we actually have the stadium has Columbus Aviators, airbrushing on the actual turf and all that. Last week, we only had that for, St. Louis. Most games had, the electronic one. This field looks great because you actually have the stuff put onto the field, which you love to see. Not every team is doing that. It's part of the issue with using MLS stadiums and all that. So, that's an important thing to note. But I believe Historic Crew Stadium only has a ULS team. Yes, they have an MLS team. So, they have, a sub-MLS team. So, that does help the fact that, for all intents and purposes, this is the number 1 team in this stadium because the Columbus Crew play in a different stadium, right? Yes, they play at Scott's Miracle Grow, which is a smaller stadium apparently. So that does help because that's the biggest issue with last week was you had so many electronic field stuff where you didn't actually have the team's name on there. But you love to see what these ones for sure. I need DC to go 0-10. Spoken like a true Battlehawks fan. Gotta love it. I don't see any notifications on here either. Not one I care about. And put that down. And I guess while we're in this commercial break, I should look up what the March Madness scores are for the women's tournament. 55-47. Wow, UConn's going down. Shame for them. I forgot that all 4 1-seeds. Man, it is true, man. NIL, man. NIL needs to stop. Maybe. I might be able to. If I can find a good picture of it, I can show this. I'll put this up in a second. So, this is currently what the field looks like. This is, the official video from them. Okay, let me make sure I put the right one on. I put the right one. So, this is, you can see the field in, the background that it's actually, fully painted on right there. That's basically what I'm talking about, because we did not have that last week for every game except the St. Louis one. All the rest basically had, electronic stuff. So, love to see that we actually have that right there. Yeah, I do love seeing the old stadium go to use. So many times you end up having, old buildings, old stadiums do nothing. It's like if you live in a city, you'll see, a business shut down, and then, new business will pop up, and instead of using that old building, they go build a new one, and it's dude, come on. Go use the old one. So I agree. Love to see this, because I know that the B team also uses this stadium. So you got, the B MLS team, and then you got this team using it, which you do love to see for sure. I the UFL over. Same. I got that feeling, bro. It's I was watching this over March Madness. Even the men's one, bro. Come on. We love some football. 2nd and 2 for DC. Both teams have 3 timeouts left and their super challenge. Let's see if DC can get the first down here. They hand it off. It's going to be a first down and then some up to the 5, and it's a touchdown. DC is up 16-7 with 5 minutes and 11 seconds left in the half. Xavier Valade gets the touchdown for DC right there. Was able to just go to the right and was able to keep going. Touchdown. Big play for them, obviously. Love to see that. Again, Columbus, in theory, they need this to be the last drive of the half. They cannot give the ball back to DC. If they do, that will be a very, very, very bad call. So we'll see how that ends up going. Scroll down real quick. And I'm hitting the wrong buttons. And they're going to kick a field goal here, or kick the PAT. Let's see if they can make this one. And it's going to be offsides. Kick is up. It's good. But this might be offsides or a false start. Might be something. We'll see how this ends up going. If it's offsides, I would not be shocked if they go for 2. Offsides. They're just going to take the point. So it's going to be 17-7 DC with the lead. Let's see. Anything else going on? You can go back over here. Nice to see all those Aviators shirts in the stands. I believe this one... I believe this giveaway was for those shirts. Because every single game this year is doing a giveaway for every single stadium. Every single team is doing some form of giveaway. Some teams have better giveaways than others, but they're all doing... The one thing every team is doing are the clear totes. I believe tonight's would have been the base Aviator shirt. So that's part of the reason why there's so many of those for sure. Number 9 again. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. The Gene DeLance type of game for sure. Let's see. Oh man, dude, it's so weird doing like 2 weekly shows. Like I'm not gonna leak the DM, but the DM I just saw is pretty funny talking about that. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty fun DM. Yeah, I remember the Browns' first season. Ooh, 2023 season. Yikes. That Hines Ward is your coach. Yikes. Quentin Dorman. Wait, no, that wasn't Quentin Dorman. I forgot who was the quarterback that year. I forgot. No, it wasn't Dorman. Might have been Dorman. No, he was the Guardians. I don't remember who the Browns' quarterback was that year, which might be a big reason why. Yikes. Do you like the 4-point field goal option? I do. I do like that. It incentivizes you to actually go for 60-yarders because obviously a big reason why teams don't go for 60-yarders is because the incentive, right? You only get 3 points. You get the same amount of points that a 20-yard field goal does. But if you miss it, you're giving the opponent the ball within like 20 yards of a field goal for themselves. So if you end up adding the extra point incentive to make it a 4-point field goal, you have an extra reason to go for it. It's a higher risk reward. So I do like it personally. Now the punting rule, I can't say I like it or dislike it. I'm sort of indifferent on it right now. I have pros of it and I have cons of it. 4-point field goal, love that rule though. DC looking with themselves. Stadium's looking great. The actual field being painted. The crowd is awesome for this. This is... St. Louis doesn't count to me. Whenever I talk about crowds, just imagine I'm not talking about St. Louis because obviously they're the best. This is looking even better than Louisville. And Louisville was incredible. Part of that is because Louisville is a smaller stadium. This crowd is looking at least just as good, if not better. Awesome one. Oh, God. That's a throwback name, Jack Cohn. I remember him now that you say that. I did not... Luckily, I didn't... Look, luckily I didn't watch a lot of 23 Brahmas football. Now, on the other hand, sadly, I watched a lot of 2022 Maulers football. So, it is what it is. A return is up to the 10, the 20, cuts to the left, and he's going to be taken... Oh, he evades it, and he goes back. They might give him forward progress at the 23. The ball is out, but they're going to call that down. At best case scenario, it's up to the 23. Incredible job by DC's coverage unit right there. Love to see it. Yes, Hector, the crowd is looking awesome. Like, the 100s look packed, and you even have 2 sections, not every section, but you have some sections of the 200s that also look really good. The crowd looks awesome. Kirby Wilson, oh God. Yeah, fans are really packing the stadium. Has the flip burgers. Let's see what happens here. 5 minutes left. Ball is snapped. They hand it off to Toa, cuts to the left, gets the first down after the hurdle, and it's going to be about a 12-yard rush. Again, they got to eat up this clock. We'll see if they can use good clock management here. They need to end this half scoring. If they score the minute left and DC scores, it is what it is. But yeah, we'll see. And look at that. Nice handoff right there. Great play by Toa. There was a hole open in the middle. Just great play. Let's see. First and 10. I'll answer that question next little break we get for math. In shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, ball snapped. Looks to the middle field, looks to the right. He's getting pressured. He's getting taken down. It's going to be a big sack, about an 8-yard sack. In terms of pure impressive in context, Michigan's. Because they improved so much within that 1 year. Like, they improved every single year they were in Michigan. They got better and better and better. And so they kept getting better. And so that game having the number it did was such a big shock. That's why I would say it's the most impressive in context. Obviously, relative to Stadium, Louisville's is the most impressive because they were close to breaking the all-time record. And in terms of, like, pure condensedness, this is probably the most. But Michigan was the most impressive within context. McClendon's going to rush up the middle, but he rushes right up into 2 defenders, and it's going to be down about maybe 1-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 17. Not good for Columbus here. If I was DC, I would debate on using a timeout here. Regroup at halftime? Yeah, because especially after that right there, yeah. That was not what you want to see. Ooh, McIntyre is the favorite. I've not been keeping up with this tournament this weekend because I'm waiting for the Masters. Don't let the defenders actually defend Columbus. Well, they didn't even give him a full yard. 3rd and 18 for Columbus. Can we get some week 1 action from last year where they just convert this casually? He breaks a tackle. He cups up. Oh, my God, he might. Oh, he's a 1 yard short. I'd go for it. Screw it. I'd go for it. You are 1 yard short. You were at 3rd and 18. You got up to 1 yard. I would just say F it and go for it. It's a huge risk. That's just a momentum. You just did a super big check down. You end up getting 17 yards on it. I'd go for it. It's a little over 1 yard. It's a little more. It's a little much for me. I like it when it's within a yard. I'd go for it here. I'd be aggressive here. You're already down 10. You don't want to give them the ball back with 3 timeouts left. They will easily score on you the way your defense has been playing. Go for it. Try to eat up more clock and at least kick a field goal. I like this decision if they do, in fact, go for it. And if you fail, it is what it is. I think DC just called a timeout. I hope DC called a timeout. Yep, DC called that timeout right there. So they get DC to use a timeout. I still would go for it here. You only need 1 yard. I'd make the risk and do it. Now let's look up the thing that matters most. That's PGA for this weekend. McIntyre is leading by 4. Love to see that. I believe he is my favorite golfer currently in this tournament because I don't believe anyone else that I enjoy more is in this one. No, they are not. So, yes, world golf rankings. I believe he is currently at 8. Oh, he fell to 11. Dang. Okay, yeah, he needs this win so he can get back up to about... I think if he wins this, he'll be put up at 7. Maybe even 5 above Fitzpatrick. Maybe. Yeah, I hope he gets a W. Would love to see that. Been too long. He was so close to winning the Open last year. Or the U.S. Open. Yeah, the Open last year. The U.S. Open, which sucked. That tournament was awful. Such an awful course they played at. Literally looked like trash. I watched every day of it, and I partially regret it. Like, final score was like literally -1 win by Spawn. It was something else. They fake the handoff, and he throws it. Oh, and it's incomplete. That was such a good play design, but he had 2 guys on him. The running Toa was wide open, and it's incomplete. Oh, that's a rough one. That was so good. He was wide open, and the pressure got to McClendon. He threw a bit of an errant ball, and it's incomplete. That was a great play design. Like, look at this. They're showing the replay here. They really thought, like, they ended up trying to make a split decision. Oh, man, that's arguably... That's a tough one. You can argue that either way. There's an argument Toa could have stopped if he turned around quicker. McClendon could have thrown a better ball. I would say McClendon should have thrown a bit farther up, but, you know, it was a great play call. It didn't work out. Now let's see if they can get a stop here. First and 10 for DC in shotgun, motioning receiver from the right to the left. Ball snap. They fake the handoff to him. Throws it deep to the left. It is going to be caught. Oh my God, up to the 15-yard line. Just an incredible play right there by DC. Got far downfield with that one. This is going to bring it to... They might try to call a play quickly. I wouldn't. I just let this go to the 2-minute warning. There's no reason to call a play here. Columbus, I think, just called a timeout there. That would have been the call for them, arguably, but we'll see in a second. Yeah, just a great play by Jackson. Was able to get up the field, get a ton of yardage. Yeah, it ain't looking good for Columbus right now. That's for sure. It really isn't. Kept going. DC definitely needed that one. I guess it was injury timeout, I think, because I've not seen them take a timeout left. But yeah, maybe St. Louis is the best. I mean, it was 1 week, right? It's like I was saying, it was 1 week. I wasn't going to just lower DC by 6 spots. Like, I saw people putting them at 6 in their power rankings. Like, dude, they were the defending champs. They lost one game. You know, don't put them down that far. If they lose the second game, it's a different story. If they lose the first 2 games of the season, that's fine to move them down. They lost 1 game. People moved them down to 6. Really? For 1 loss? I don't know about that. Yeah, defenders are tracking this game wide open themselves. Yeah, this could be bad. Game's over. Hope not over. Sloppy penalties, some nonsense. It's like, so far, it's the 2 biggest worries I had about Columbus are coming true. The big worry I had, the early season, I mentioned it starting about 2.5 weeks ago, that I felt this was a week 3 and beyond team. This was a team that, because of the specifics of their offense, that they're going to take until week 3 to get going. The issue with that means that if your defense isn't going, you are starting 0-2. So you're starting in a hole. And the other big concern was who your defensive coordinator was, Captain Munnerlyn. And so far, through a game and almost a half, not great. Not great. And so those 2 big concerns, as well as clock management overall, hurting. But like I said, I think if week 3 they show out and lay an egg in week 3, I think then it's safe to say that their season is over. But like I said, I think there is a shot that they could do something next week, but we'll see. Mike Rapoli tweeting about the Columbus crowd with his sloppy team penalty. Yes, the penalties are rough. Defenders Battle Ox Championship game were kind of crazy. In DC? Come on, do it, UFL. Put it in DC. Nobody wants the game back in St. Louis. Bring it to DC or back to Canton. One of those 2. Or hell, even Columbus. There's a great crowd. I think that overall penalties is, when you talk about the terrible players he employed, I mean, technically you're not wrong. Like, it's not the degree of 2022 USFL where the coaches were the legit de facto, like they legit were GMs. In this league, they're just the de facto GMs. So, you're not wrong that he got players that weren't the best in terms of penalty stuff. I would say that so far the issues with penalties are more so on defense. I would say it's more so on Captain Munnerlyn, which, again, the only DC in this league that has no real pro experience. Because at least Ted Ginn isn't the only guy, the head coach. Like, Redmond and AJ are in the same boat. Hands it off. It's going to be a rush in the middle, and it's a touchdown. 23-7, Deion Jackson with another touchdown with 2 minutes left. Columbus needs to score this next drive, or else it's game over for him. But yeah, I would say it's mostly on Munnerlyn. Myself, I would say that was the big concern heading into the season, because it was like, at least you have Todd Haley for offense, but who's your DC? Captain Munnerlyn's your DC. Hasn't been working out. Touchdown DC. It's true, like, this is a bad week 2 matchup. Like, Columbus really got, this was the worst team they could have faced in week 2 outside. No, this was the worst. Even Dallas, I think, would have been better for them. This was rough. Kick is up, and it is good. 24-7. Columbus needs to score something. Even a field goal to make this a 2-touchdown game would be okay. If Columbus doesn't score, it's game over. If they put up some points, maybe they got a shot. But yeah, because remember they do get the ball at half. So in theory, Columbus can double up, but they actually have to score, or else they can't double up. But there's a chance. If you kick a field goal, get a touchdown the opening drive, next drive, it's only a 7-point game. So I think a field goal is fine, 3-14. I think a field goal is okay because you get the ball back. If you weren't, then I would agree. But because you do get the ball back at halftime, you just need to score 10 points minimum in your next 2 drives. That's basically what I would say. Now, 0-2 former Browns fans. How big will the crowd be after the halftime show? Columbus doesn't score TD. Sadly, I don't think it'll be insane. Sadly, I don't think it'll be insane. Aviators dog water. Yeah, every year one team. Well, I was gonna say one team, but Houston. My God, so never mind what I said. But yeah, Aviators defense is looking really bad. Offense is looking suspect. I wouldn't say it's looking. The offense does not look bad through 2 weeks. It just looks inconsistent. The defense looks bad. The defense looks rough. Like, this defense is looking bad. Because, again, the one silver lining for Houston's defense, they just looked awful against Austin Reed. Like, Dallas didn't run the ball that much because they just could do anything in the air. Last week, Columbus got beat through the air and on the ground, and they're getting beat tonight through the air and on the ground. We are 5 games into the season. There have been 2 teams that have looked competent on the ground. Orlando against Columbus last week, and DC against Columbus this week. So through 5 games, that's 10 teams playing, there have been 2 instances of good ground game, both by the teams playing Columbus. That's the biggest catastrophic issue with this team. More than Ted Ginn, more than Munnerlyn as an individual, the run defense being this bad 2 weeks into the season is unfathomable. Like, it's looking rough. That's the biggest issue so far. First 88 minutes of the season. Oh, my God. Hey, Houston might do better, though. Houston might do better. We'll see, but they could. Yeah, St. Brown, they are getting beat. There's still a shot, like I said. This is the drive that determines the game to me. If you score here at all, you're fine. Not fine, but you're in the game. You don't score, you're done. If you don't score here, you're cooked. If you score here, you get the ball at half. You can double up, get 10, 14 points. You're very much in this game. But if you don't score here, you're kind of screwed. I think St. Louis wins. Like I was replying to someone else's comment. I don't think Hakeem Butler playing is the biggest deal in the world. And another great coverage job by DC. Columbus getting the ball at the 20-yard line. Awesome play by them. But yeah. We'll see how it ends up going. Let's do this one. Unresponded. Scroll down here. Yeah, just insane right there. Ball is snapped. They look to the middle of the field. Quick throw. It is caught for about a 7-yard gain right there. Let's see. Ball is snapped. They throw it, and he gets hit while he's throwing. Incomplete pass. Man, dude, sometimes my autocorrect is not working. The attendance looking really good. It's looking like an announced 15, 17K. Like, it's looking good. Now, will it be as good the next game after tonight? I don't know about that. We'll see how tonight ends. But the crowd tonight is looking awesome. Minute 30 left. Ball is snapped. Looks to the middle of the field. Evades the sack. Throws too deep, too low. Again, the one big flaw McLennan had last year was that sometimes that happened. He would rocket ball these, like, less than 5-yard passes, and sometimes it wouldn't be the most accurate in the world. That right there is a great example of that. That should have been a first down. It's 4th and 3. And because of where you are, because of the coverage, you have to punt this. So, again, coverage so far is another thing. That's back-to-back great coverage jobs by DC. They're going to be forced to punt this. You can't go for it here. It sucks for them, but yeah. Ball is snapped. They punt it up. And it is going to be... Oh, it's a muff punt. Oh, who gets it? It was muffed. It fell forward. It looks like Columbus has it. Oh my God. They did not just get bailed out. They did not just get bailed out. They got bailed out. Oh my God. They got bailed out. DC muffed the punt. Columbus has it at about the 35-yard line. Oh my God. Steven, no way. They just got bailed out. A minute 13 left. They still got all 3 timeouts. Oh my goodness. That's insane. What a bailout. That's crazy. My God. 1st and 10 at the 35, or the 40, my bad. Ball snap. They throw it. Oh, is it intercepted? It might have been intercepted. He tipped it. I don't know if he fully got it. I don't know if the lineman caught it. Okay, does not look like an interception. Almost was. Oh, my goodness. Dude, this is some, like, 2024 Panthers Stallions football going on right now. I swear. What is this? What in the world is this, bro? There is a flag as well. Let's see this. Oh, look at that. Great. That's an awesome tip job. Okay, 75 got that. Great play by him. Great heads-up play right there. Awesome play by Nelson right there. He saw that ball get tipped, immediately caught it. It's a great play by him. He just saved that. That could have easily been an interception. Let's see what this penalty is. Watch it be on Columbus. Watch it be on Columbus. Might be offsetting. Oh, both in the defense. Never mind. Columbus, you guys might be getting really bailed out. Oh, my goodness. They're still talking. And remember, DC could challenge something here if they want. So just remember to keep that in mind. We'll see. They're still yapping about this for some reason. Look at number 9, bro. Trying to be in the shot. You shouldn't even be in that shot, bro. You're like half the reason here. I mean, if they get this penalty here, they're really getting bailed out. Yeah, it's a penalty. If you're going to call the one on number 9 for taunting, that's a penalty. That's a fair flag. That's one flag right there. That's a fair flag on the defense. Another bailout. Man, if Columbus scores a touchdown on this drive, holy bailout. Even worse than DC's first drive. Like, even worse than DC's first drive. Because this is like egregious bailouting. A muffed punt that gained you 40 yards. And then getting a 15-yard penalty here. They need to take advantage of their good fortune. Dude, true. My goodness. I mean, I guess you could argue that the muff punt was a bailout for the unnecessary roughness that Columbus had against them. So yeah, nothing like it. We're still yapping about this call. Come on, guys. The O-lineman can't catch the ball even if it's tipped, so it's not an interception, so it was an incomplete pass. It's a flag from the spot of the flag. It's that simple, right? Like, unless he reported as eligible, he can't catch the ball officially. It was tipped. It's not an interception. It's not a reception. It might be a flag. I don't know. Let's just see. Got Mike P talking about this. Still going. Yep, from the 40 like it should be. Damn, dude, I should be a UFL ref. Like, I literally just said that a minute before you did. And they're still yapping. Oh my god. Decline penalty for the face mask. And I never even showed that in the replay. And that's going to be the 15-yard penalty right there. Minute 6. And remember, Columbus still has 3 timeouts. Ted getting hit there. Yeah, that's another one. That's the same with number 9 throwing the dude down. That's like such a stupid penalty to take. I don't know why you would do that. Like, come on. So the football gods, why perhaps they heard me. Yeah, I mean, that literally is as stupid as the number 9 one. Not as stupid. The number 9, that was so stupid. You hit the ball, you knew it was a dead ball. That was really stupid. Why are you shoving him right in front of the ref like that? Okay, ball is snapped. They get pressured, he throws it, and it's a good pass. It's caught up to the 20, gets to the 15, goes out of bounds about the 14. Oh, there's a flag. I mean 11, but there's a flag. Oh, it looks like it's going to be roughing the passer. So, is it roughing the passer? Let's see the replay. Even though he's down, it very well might not be roughing the passer. On Robertson again, I think this is like his second penalty, if this is. Kings or Orlando tomorrow? That's a tough game to call. I think I picked Orlando to win, but that's a tough game to call. That's a tough one. I could really see that going either way. I did have Orlando winning, but I had Louisville covering. I think that's going to be a close one. That's a risky one to go on because it's hard to judge how good Louisville is because Birmingham didn't look good either. So it's very hard to be like, oh yeah, Louisville looked great, they're going to beat Orlando, or vice versa. That's a tough one to call. Blake Williams, again, is livid, dude. Second week in a row. I think they just called a timeout. DC did. He's so pissed. Another crash. It's going to be weekly Blake Williams crash out. Gotta love it. DeAndre Baker. Man, I'm going to get another drink. Oh my god, I forgot the halftime just going to be 20 minutes again. Oh no, don't mic him up, bro. If they mic him up, this league's getting hit with the NC or the NR, NT, whatever, 17 rating. Dude, he's saying some stuff. But I want it to be competitive. I mean, hey, remember, Columbus gets the ball at half. Remember that. Columbus does get the ball at half. So if they put up some sort of score here, even if they don't get the touchdown, they only get a field goal, they get stopped in the red zone again and kick a field goal, they still get the ball back at halftime. So they could easily make this into a 7, maybe even 3-point game like that. Now, by like that, I mean in about 40 minutes because the halftime show is going to be like 20 minutes or something. You know, not super against it, but yeah. They hand the ball off. Ooh, nice cut move to the left. Keeps going. It should be a touchdown. Makes the hurdle. Touchdown. Columbus after the hurdles. Quandre White with a highlight reel run right there. It is now 24-13. Columbus is back in the game. Now, there is 55 seconds left, and with the first down rules and with how good DC's been doing, they could get to field goal range quickly. Just remember that. But that was a great play right there by Quandre White. Should go for 1 here just to make it a 10-point game. We'll see what they do. Great play by him right there. Things are going well for us. How can we mess this up? Honestly, true. That was a great run. Nice cut move. Great hurdle against the guy that was diving. They are going to kick this. Make this as a 10-point game. Only downside, you wish you would have used up more time. A minute left in the UFL is an eternity. And it's a good extra point. Angle made it look like a miss, but it was a good extra point. Hop, skip, and a jump. Honestly, true. That's the only... yeah, dude, holy bailout. They just replayed that. Holy bailout on the muff punt. But the only issue is that because of those penalties, in a weird way, it actually helped DC out after the muff punt, obviously, because now you get the ball back 55 seconds. Remember, it's college rules. Those that don't know, college rules, within 2 minutes of the halves, if you get a first down, the clock stops until the ball is officially able to be snapped again. So, a minute is an eternity. And you have a timeout left. DC could easily get into field goal range if they just make a couple good plays. That's the one downside with how fast Columbus scored and the penalties happening when they did and how they did, but we'll see. It might be. Yeah, my under prediction is not going to age well in this game. But last week you had the Gamblers game. I think that ended up putting up around 50 points because Houston got the kick return and the garbage time touchdown. So that was about like 50-something points that was scored. This could break that for the highest scoring game this season. Hard to believe. Honestly, What a touchdown. What a drive. What a great drive. Why did they throw a pick six? Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, getting the bailout on the punt, literally gaining 40 yards on a punt is hilarious because of the muffed. And then you ended up getting a holy bailout penalty by another really stupid penalty on the defense this time. Just gotta love it. 55 seconds left. That's it. Only 55 seconds. It's, you know, it's enough. They could do something. We'll see if they do. Go over here. Just look what's going on here. Hit that over there. Dude, what a game. Sup, Trevor? It is a great game so far. It really is. I mean, this is what you love to see, it actually hitting something like that. You gotta love it. Where's the Teamu interception? It's pass, dude. That's messed up to say. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's still messed up to say. Yeah, the show in the kickoff where he just got drilled. Let's see. Any new notifications about anything? Not seeing anything. No. Let's see what DC can do. 55 seconds left. They get a good kickoff return. They could easily get a field goal, maybe even a touchdown still with how much time is left. I wouldn't say so far. I mean, the Louisville-Birmingham game had a really good first half. This, so far, I would say is third right now of the 5 games, but definitely could be higher. And they're, wow, and just like that mistake by Columbus, they're saying the ball landed short of the landing zone, so DC is going to get this ball at about, what is it, the 45? So, massive mistake by Columbus. Again, just both teams handing it to each other. Gotta love it. It's the landing zone. Kickouts from 30. Okay, well, they're not even showing. I love how they're showing the stuff that doesn't matter. They're not showing the actual penalty. It's the 45. Okay, it's the 40. Okay. So, getting the ball at the 40-yard line. So, literally only need 20 yards. Because, again, even though McCrane has missed a kick, he has made a 60-yarder. So, we'll see. Oh, my God. A pick six would be huge. Yeah, the stadium would just explode. In shotgun, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Motioning 1 from the right, 2 to the backfield. Ball is snapped. Oh, it's tipped. Teamu throws it anyway. It's intercepted! Oh my God, no way. To the 45. He hurdles. He goes down. Columbus can score again. They've got all 3 timeouts. Holy bailout. What a bad throw. Teamu ended up having the ball be tipped. Or it was a bad snap. It got tipped in the air by himself. He threw it anyway. Intercepted. Columbus has the ball almost already in field goal range. They are already within DC territory. They could end up making this a 3-point game. They've got all 3 timeouts. Oh my God, that's just, he literally just saw the first white jersey and threw it. That's what happened there. He got the snap, realized, oh crap, I got to do something because he assumed he was going to get pressured. He saw a white jersey, threw it without looking at all, didn't see Lawson whatsoever, intercepted, and just insane. My goodness. Okay, now this is probably the second best game so far, only behind the Louisville game. Insane. Ooh, and he is injured. That's not what we want to see. Oh, only positive thing is when he's getting injured right now, he'll have, like, especially today's game, have, like, 20 minutes to get better. So he's either going to be back full good or issue. He really did. Yeah, Nope called that, and so did the other one. Just crazy. Columbus on a warpath now, yes. They're chasing powers. 1st and 10 again. 3 timeouts, 48 seconds. Easily could get a touchdown. They have more than enough time to score a touchdown, at least get a field goal. Let's see if they can do something here. In shotgun, running back to his left in the backfield with him. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ball snapped. Delayed handoff. Cuts up the middle. Gets about 2.5 yards in the first down play. And they should be calling a timeout right here. Yep, they do call a timeout there. 42 seconds left. Not the QB. It was Lawson, the linebacker that got the interception. He was being helped off the field. Was able to stand and all that, but he was the one. And again, Columbus needs at least a field goal here. you get a field goal, you can literally tie it on the next drive. Again, you get the ball at half, so that's huge that you got the ball here again. You can get back-to-back drives here and score. Oh my god, that'd be huge. DC turnover margin -4. Oh my god. 42 seconds left. 2 timeouts. DC has won. Both teams have not used their super challenge, so we still could see a super challenge sometime in the near future. Especially because this is a big drive. I mean, if Columbus is able to score at all, they can literally tie it up in the next drive after half. Motioning a receiver from the left to the right. Ball is snapped. Looks to the middle of the field. Looks to the right. Throws it deep. It is going to be intercepted by DC. It's intercepted by DC. They're probably going to kneel this ball and send it to the half. Oh, Steven, no. No, that comment came just a couple seconds too early. Intercepted by DC. That was definitely a questionable one. McClendon went for the deep shot, but he ended up throwing it to where he had 2 guys going down there. So you ended up having 2 receivers against 3 DBs, and it was intercepted. Again, in a weird way, it's not a big deal. You were able to evade your own mistake, which was a mistake in scoring that quick. So, yeah, I mean, it's a rough one. It's a bad interception, but the DC one hurt more. You're going to force them to just kneel it out, which they're doing. So you do go into half, exactly what we were talking about, 14-24. You can score, make it a 1-score game in the next drive, but obviously it's not how you really want it to go down. Definitely something else right there for sure. I'm looking at stuff here quick. No confidence in the kicker. Sorta. I mean, to a degree, yeah. Just definitely some sort of questionable decision making for sure. But we're heading in halftime. They have a shot in 10 minutes ago. I was sure the game was... Yeah, I mean, getting that score was huge. And the interception... Again, both teams were an interception, but the one that DC did hurt way more. Because DC could have easily scored a touchdown. Backup quarterbacks for Columbus. I don't remember who they named. It may be Jalen Morton. I think he's the backup quarterback officially. I'll have to check that. I know DC should be Mike DeLillo. He was the backup last year. He should be the backup this year. Let me pull up the official depth chart. Like I said, I think, like I want to say that Morton is the official backup for Columbus, but it might be the other one. Scroll. Where is it? Yeah, Coach Shannon. Yeah, Jalen Morton is the official backup for Columbus, and then you've got Aiden Sayin as the third stringer, and Mike DeLillo is the backup for DC, which isn't too shocking. And scroll back up. Like I was saying earlier, to that point, Dip, my view is that if next week the offense is still struggling, then there's a concern. I thought that this Columbus, because you're literally combining the past Showboats offense with last year's Michigan offense and last year's Houston offense together, essentially. So I thought it was going to take 3 weeks to gel. If in week 3, next week, it still is rough, then you might have to go back. But right now, I don't think there's a QB controversy in Columbus. Next week, ask me again, there might be. That's how I view it personally. Sup, Trevor, again, and sup, Mole 10, nice to have you here. The crowd is looking awesome. Crowd is looking really good. This looks like it's going to be an announced 15 to 17K number with, like, legit 15K there for sure. Love to hear it. You gotta love anyone saying some good stuff about the UFL. Definitely love to see it. And having the halftime performance right now. It's not a midfield. You know, so was DJ Collins. His wasn't at midfield, but I guess the less said about that one, the better. That was a performance that happened. We can all wish that it didn't happen, but it did happen, sadly. We had to watch it. That's probably the biggest thing that people don't talk about as the biggest issue with the spring leagues not lasting officially and having all this changes is the fact that like you're an injury and that's good sports stop covering it to the same degree. Because if it keeps changing all the time, like there's so much you have to change every single time you do it. Definitely one of the biggest things we lost for sure with that. So that definitely sucks that you don't have them covering it. The Marks cast, oh man. I think he's officially retired from covering them, if I remember correctly. And I think also part of it was probably burnout from the fact that he like literally became like the most hated man in the community. I think that was part of why he retired. Because at the end it was like everybody viewed him as like a truly great CFL guy, but not a good UFL guy is what most people viewed. That's kind of what was part of it. I think he did full-blown retire even from the CFL, which that is a crime, but I think that's what ended up happening. I think he either fully retired or he at least retired from the UFL because of the reputation he had in the community. But I think he overall retired even though he was a great CFL guy. But that's pretty much what happened, I believe. Halftime show, man. It's just, like I was saying last week, it's so weird to just, like, we're just, like, in halftime. It's so weird because, like, you're not used to, like, UFL halftime is, like, 10 minutes, you know, and having, like, a 25-minute one is just so weird. At the end, I think that was the part of it. I think that was a problem because at the end, I remember that especially, like, last year, because, like, there was one point I fully agree with him, right? Like I've always said, right? You can hate a person, you can love a person. If you think that someone has never said a good point in their life, you're wrong. His point about St. Louis was correct after 2025. That 2 years back to back, like, or I think it was 24 something, like, you can't go back for a title game if you're going to bank on, like, a specific team making it. You got to view it based on, like, if they don't make it. That's why Canton was such a great market. That's why a lot of people want DC to do it. But I think that it's just last year, especially, I think that Marks Cast got the view to most people that he just hated the league. Because even St. Louis, he was dissing. Like, he was hating on St. Louis. I mean, he was saying their attendance was terrible last year, saying, like, they were making all these excuses and saying that even though it was 30K, it was a bad 30K. It was rough. I think that was part of why I ended up retiring because he just got such a bad reputation from other people. That's definitely what it felt like with all that. And from people I've talked to, that's what most people viewed. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they were able to score anything there, that would have been huge. They literally could have tied the game up in the start of the half. And instead, McClendon threw a deep hero ball-esque type throw. You didn't need to do that. You just needed a field goal. And to what G. Boney said, I think that's partially on Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn should have told him, hey, we just need to score, right? If you get any points this drive, like, the thing I've always viewed, right, it's like Orlando last week. When Orlando got that kickoff fumble, you just got to score. You are getting a drive. I'm not saying this disrespectfully. You should not have, right? That type of interception, a kickoff fumble, that's a drive you should not have. You just want to score because you are getting essentially free points that you didn't fully earn the traditional sense of going 70 yards for a touchdown, right? Needed to score, and instead he threw a deep ball and didn't work, so. Yeah. The Dave Meltzer spring football. I don't even know about that. At least Dave Meltzer had a hard-on for, AEW. I don't even... At the end... Reed didn't even have a hard-on for the XFL teams. He just, yeah, I get he was a Seattle guy, but still. Yeah, good old John Lewis. As a DC fan, it's easy to hate on St. Louis. Gotta love it. You gotta love this rivalry, bro. It's so great. It really is great, this rivalry. You crack me up. You're so funny. The Aviator crew. Defense cheeks. Defense is definitely not great, for sure. I'm shocked he stopped covering the CFL. That's the one thing I'm really shocked at, because he was somebody that clearly did love the CFL. Like, at least to me, as a non-CFL big enjoyer, I really am shocked he doesn't cover the CFL anymore. Because it really did seem like that was, like, the league he cared about, and that was the shockingest part about him, like, stopping making content overall, was that he stopped doing that one. At least that's how I view it. Like, I would have assumed he would have kept covering it, but I guess not, you know what I mean? But that shocked me the most about the whole thing. Dude sent me to the championship game. Big W. And going to the next home game, they turn up. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably the best way to put it. It's like, it's hard to talk about other people, but it's one of those things, like, I will say this. Let me put it out this way. I've talked to a lot of people, I guess you can say, like, under the table, off the record. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about James Baker. Never have. I can't say the same thing for Reed, the Marks cast. I'll leave it at that. I've never heard any person say anything bad about James Baker. I can't say that about the Marks cast. That's all I will say, to be like as not super threatening, but just telling it like it is. He's not James Baker of the community. But should he still be around covering the CFL? Absolutely. But hey, retired. Congrats on retirement. But yeah. I honestly don't hate any teams in the UFL. I just don't, probably because I don't actually have a team. And it's also like, you don't want a team to go away, You don't want to see teams come and go every year, so you definitely want to keep them all together. So I get that feeling. You don't want to hate a team because, like, man, if you lose that team, it's like, it's rough to go back to that market, especially. So yeah, I don't really follow the CFL. Like, I'll vaguely keep up with it a little bit, but part of it is when it's going on. Just I usually don't about that stuff. So I personally don't really cover the CFL a ton. Just because when it goes on, it's like I'm not fully in that sort of mindset. So, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I only specifies Aviators have a tough first 2 game schedule. Yeah, I mean, especially getting DC after the bad win, that was definitely rough. That definitely hurt. I liked him up until he started bullying Brandon. That whole sock, man, if you are around, are the Hornets, are they fun to watch or are they good, are two different questions. Are they good on a given night? Are they fun to watch? Yes. The whole Brandon Anderson Reed thing was a time to be alive, right? It was a time to be alive. If you know, you know. That was such an awkward time in the YouTube space. Because, like, the honest truth is they both had good points. I'm just going to tell it like it is. They both were 100% right in their views. Reed was correct that Brandon was using the UFL full games to super spike his channel. That was 1,000,000,000% correct. And on Brandon's side, technically, he never did anything wrong. The UFL does not copyright you. The USFL did. It's one thing I hated about Fox and USFL. They would copyright you like that, just like the NFL. But the UFL, you can post whatever you want, at least that I have seen, and you don't get hit. The only reason I don't do is, like I've told people in comments, especially like Power Rankings videos, take so damn long to make that would literally take like an extra 3 hours to make them. So, like, he didn't do anything wrong. But they were both right, and it was such an awkward thing because you had both people going against each other in a community that's so small that most of the people that were fans of one of them were fans of the other. So it was just such like a cluster F. It was wild. That was a hilarious time to be around, especially when you were like not involved in it. You're just watching it and you're like, dude, like, only in the UFL. Only in spring football would this be that big a deal to that level and have it. It's just, oh my God, it's great. That was great. It was okay. I think it was okay. I'm kind of, honestly, the Nelly one spoiled me. That was such a great show. The Nelly show was so good. Kind of spoiled me. And the DJ Khaled show spoiled me in the other way because in pure entertainment value, the DJ Khaled is probably second for me for the wrong reasons. It was entertaining in a like, oh my God, this is a watch. But yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah, it was something else for sure. Oh man, dude, that was wild last year. It really is weird how both those guys' careers have gone since then too. Just it's something else. DJ Khaled was bad. It wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't good. It was entertaining, but it wasn't good. If you know what I mean. Dude, I don't think the A should. I think it should go back to Oakland. If their owner doesn't want to be this cheap guy that's a total a-hole to his team, because like that's what it should be. Like, they should not be in Sacramento at all, and they shouldn't be back in Vegas either. But hey, it is what it is, as the saying goes. You know what I mean? You can't really say anything about that. That's what I would say. Let's see. Keep going back. What am I looking at? It's right. I'm on here. Scroll. Okay. I'll just say that Anderson is not what he seems to be, and that's it. Just not talking about. It's best halftime show yet. Wait a minute before I answer that. Best halftime show yet. Okay, GM. That you're pulling the Colin Cowherd. You know, LeBron step away. We got Ben Simmons. I mean, like I've always said, to me, the only thing I hate about most UFL content creators is they don't post in the off season. But like I said, I didn't just have him on the channel to like have him on the channel. Like, Defending Football Show is probably one of my favorite content creators in this community. I will say that. I think that he's one of the few guys that I will go and watch videos for, because like, especially like when you're a content creator like to this extent where you're putting out like, you know, 3 videos a week, podcast, 2 live streams. I'm not watching a ton of UFL content because it's like, you know, for Brandon Anderson, like most of his content stuff is stuff I make videos on and stuff I've already researched. I have no purpose in watching it. Whereas, like, there are videos that, like, Defending Football Show will watch, and then, obviously, PFN guys end up having a bunch of players on there. But that's just how I view it. I live in Sacramento. The A's are a disaster here. You know, aren't they, like, literally struggling to get, like, 3,000 fans a game? Because everybody knows they're not there. Like, they're not staying there. So, it's like when the Oilers, when they went to Memphis, and it was like they knew they weren't staying there, so why should I go show up for a team that's literally moving in a year or two? I'm looking forward to Gucci Mane. I forgot that he's playing. That's right. That's going to be a good one. Yeah, I mean, you've got, like, some big ones still going. You've got Whale for DC, you got Ludacris on Sunday, and you got Gucci Mane. That's a pretty good big 3 right there for the end. That's a good point. Your worst UFL team so far? So far, it's Houston, because, my God, they looked bad in week 1. But I think this week is when we'll know for sure. Like, it's another reason why I didn't move DC too far down. I don't want to punish a team or glaze a team for 1 week. It's why I put Dallas at 2. Like, we all had St. Louis as, like, a top 3 team, and only a couple had Dallas above the 5 spot, so why should I move Dallas to 1 and St. Louis down or something like that? Again, week 2, this great matchup. Whoever wins that game, number 1. We'll see. Even if he is a Defenders fan, I don't remember if I said this publicly, that was... like, dude, we ended up starting another Zoom. Like, I use Zoom for all the recordings and all that. Like, Zoom lets you only do 45 minutes. Literally started up another one. We literally yapped for like an hour. In fact, never mind. I don't want to leak DMs, but let's just say that there was, if something didn't end up happening, we were gonna have him on another video for a little segment. But you know, there's some things that went wrong, like off the field stuff, so off the YouTube stuff. But like, great guy, definitely love him. Probably one of my favorite people in this community that I like. That is a content creator. One of my favorite people in the community. Great guy. I think Birmingham and Dallas are the best team so far. I can't say Birmingham after week 1. I got to see what they do in week 2. I just can't. You're possibly the best UFL content. I try to do it. You know, I'm the guy. Like, my main thing is the content aspect, because most creators will do like the podcast every week, and obviously I say that now that I have one, but I like putting out content, doing the power rankings every week, doing week reviews, game picks, and all that. I just like putting out all the content stuff, and especially the off season, because like, there's times where I literally feel like it's me and Larson against the world in terms of putting out content for the UFL. Larson putting out article after article after article about players in the NFL, me putting out the videos. That's the one thing I really hope, is that more UFL content creators start doing off-season stuff to kind of keep that year-round energy going, the same way that every other league, even the NHL now, has that degree where it's the full year-round thing. I disagree about Houston. No Turner Speedball. The one thing I said about Hunter is that I'm a bit skeptical because it was in garbage time. If he ends up looking decent this week, I agree, different change of pace. It's just a matter of I want to see it against a team when there's like a game, not like when it's the second half, you're down by 17 and all that. But he did have some promise for sure. I will agree with that, Bonnie, for sure. I really think Dallas is much better than folks think, and the head coach one of the best. Yeah, I mean, the biggest concern I had was the fact that, like, Rick Neuheisel hasn't really coached at all in the last decade. He's had, like, 2 full years of experience, I believe. Full years, yeah, 2 years in general. But I definitely agree that he could definitely be solid because he has so much experience, and he really was a great replacement for Stoops. And you still have a lot of good, like, the biggest shocker in that game was that you did not miss Sal Cannella in that game. That was the most impressive thing. Even more impressive than what Austin Reed did breaking the regular season record was the fact that you didn't even notice Sal Cannella wasn't there. That was what I was like, man. this Dallas team could be good. Hey, Noel Mazzone, last year, he joined during the season. The offense immediately looked better. They still weren't great, but that's because he joined mid-season. He's made teams look better before. Got a full offseason. Looking pretty good. Had him above AJ Smith. I like that pick. It's aging pretty well so far. Through 1 week. Through 1 week. What's up, Marvin? Nice to see you here. This is, I mean, when they say here, like, in the comments, really great game so far. I mean, really, it's a bailout game, really. Both teams have at least one touchdown that was a true, honest-to-God bailout. DC's first touchdown drive, they got, like, 2 really bad penalties by Columbus to give them a touchdown. Then on the other end, you ended up having DC end up muffing a punt. Just awesome. Hilarious, but yeah. But yeah. I wonder if Gucci's still performing after he just got robbed. Yeah, I heard about that wild thing. I mean, that's in like 2 weeks, so I would assume still. But yeah, that was something else. Am I a single fan of a team? I would say no. Are there like 4 teams overall that I'd say that like I like? Yes, the Renegades were my XFL team, and I still enjoy them. The Defenders, mainly because I've been getting more involved in the media aspect for them. The Aviators for that reason, and the fact that even if they're questionable at coaching, former Panthers, Captain Munnerlyn, Ted Ginn Jr., and the Gamblers, I love them bringing back Kevin Sullivan. I like the redesign. I love their home unis. And there are a couple players I enjoy as well. UTV did see it. Did the NFL Network decide to... I don't know for sure. I just know that game is on NFL Network, but I've never used YouTube TV, so, like, I'm the wrong guy to ask for YouTube TV. I've never used it. I use like Sling and like ESPN apps and all that. I haven't used Sling. Even back in like olden days of cable, I had cable, you know, yeah. I didn't see it up to record either. Maybe it's coming up later or something like that because obviously it got announced later, but yeah, I don't know for sure. I just know that it better be on NFL Network because that's the other game I'm streaming, but yeah. Why is all of a sudden... Well, NFL Network is now owned by ESPN, right? ESPN and NFL had this huge deal they ended up signing. So NFL Network is a part of ESPN, which naturally covers the games. So it's ESPN, so they're putting it on there. Because I believe the last time was the AAF had games on NFL Network. But yeah, that's a part of it. And also because like there was one game that was exclusive to streaming, which they took off, and another one was at a weird time frame. So yeah. Luis Perez is currently sitting on the bench for Dallas. Dallas decided to start Austin Reed. Everybody questioned it, and it looked like the right call in week 1. People are wondering if they're going to trade him, but obviously the question about will they trade him because, you know, if you're the Renegades, you do not want what happened to Vegas to happen to you, where you trade him and then he wins the title somewhere else. But we'll see. Honestly, loudest crowd so far this year? Loudest? Yeah, maybe. Honestly, maybe. Orlando was loud, especially for how many people were there, but maybe. Is Tegan bald? No, he's not bald. It's just the way he wears his hair. Yeah, we should be getting attendance sometime within the next hour, in theory, but we'll see for sure. Yeah. Can we use a QB? Dude, could you imagine? That would actually be sick if they were able to get him. That would be sick. Oh, that makes sense. If NFL Network isn't on ESPN Unlimited, that would make sense why it's not on there. And you have to just have NFL Network, okay. Dude, ESPN Unlimited, joke. I hate the fact they did it. It's such a joke. He's up to the 10, the 15, the 20, 25, 30, and he gets taken down to about the 34-yard line. So much for it. It's so much for ESPN Unlimited. And, like, yes, you do get a lot of content stuff, but, dude, ESPN Plus was so much better. I mean, forcing the trade for Perez definitely would be a decision. I could see why the league would want to do that, especially if Rapoli wants scoring. I could see that happen. But, I mean, also is like the idea of a good backup. You don't want your, like, God forbid Reed gets hurt in, like, week 6, but you forced him to trade him, and then the offense looks bad with their third string in. It's like, man, that'd be pretty rough, but we'll see. First step for Columbus ball. Snap looks to the middle of the field. Rolls up to the middle. Keeps going. Cuts inside. Gets about 5 yards on the carry, maybe 6, up to the 40-yard line. Want to be 2nd and 4 now. I said the league should force Stallions to get rid of their good players, and it never happened. Oh, my God. I don't think they will. Part of me feels like they are just legitimately trying to do a 3 running back system. Because they have 3 good running backs, and if you just even use 2 of them, like, I wouldn't get rid of him, and he can definitely work for you. Like, you've got a really good running back room. I would not trade him. Ball is snapped. They hand it off. It's going to be a rush up. He breaks tackle, gets to the 50, keeps going to the 45, the 40. He gets tackled out at the 30-yard line. Incredible rush. I believe that was John Lovett. Yep, John Lovett again. Triple running back method. You saw Zaquandre White have a big run. He just had John Lovett have one. Great run right there. It's part of the reason if you have 3 running backs, right, you're never really risking one of them getting super tired because you can just keep going one after the other, and if one gets a minor injury, you don't even have to risk keeping him in there because you got 2 other running backs. That's what I liked about it. This is why I was saying, like, I think this is a week 3 team because McClendon, Haley, and the running back room needs about 3 weeks to get together because a lot of the skill position, not a lot, but yes, a couple skill position guys and the O-line are former Panthers. So you got to get all this cohesion. That's why I thought it was going to be about week 3 for them to get going, but that was a great play right there. They run it up the middle for about 1.5 yards. Like, just throw another name besides Perez. In terms of trades, if we get a trade, when we get a trade, it's probably going to be some super random trade. Like last year with the Marcus Sims trade that was like, ended up being a bad trade for both teams because neither of them ended up playing pretty much, but yeah. Since the Aviators are in Columbus, Browns, Bengals fans can be the same. Hey, this is true. Incredible again. Oh, I'm not too shocked. Even with the stream delay, dude, we talk about it a lot. My Fox broadcast is so fast. It's insane. Like, my ESPN broadcast, insanely slow. My Fox broadcast is, like, immediate. Ball is snapped. They rush up the middle. McClendon's running for it. He cuts to the left, and he slides about 1.5 yards shy of the first down marker. Like, I don't even have, like, the low latency one. I have, like, the mid-tiers, like, 3 tiers for YouTube. It's not the same as, like, you know, Twitch and all that. So, like, I have the mid one, so I have a delay, and I'm still ahead of a lot of people's Fox. Like, I've had multiple people tell me they have to literally go, like, 5 seconds back or 10 seconds back is how fast it is. But it's the opposite for ESPN, where it's just, even with the delay, I'm, like, so far behind. Ooh, Ted Ginn Sr., love hearing about that being there. Yeah, holding flag, well, the championship game. Man, Craig, I hate that you asked that because we still don't know. We're already in week 2 and we still don't know. Typical UFL fashion, they have not announced it yet. Most of us are hoping and assuming it's an Audi Field in DC, but we don't know for sure. 2nd and 18 after the holding penalty. They're at the 40-yard line, technically 39. In shotgun, running back to the right. Ball is snapped, looks to the middle of the field. Throws it to the middle. It's caught at the 30-yard line, makes a cut, and ends up getting about 2 extra yards. Going to be down at about the 26-yard line. Give me spoilers at this point. Yeah, honestly not shocked. Probably just have to hit like the left on the, I don't know if you're on your phone or whatever, but phone keyboard. If you're on keyboard, just hit the left thing once and then go back 5 seconds. That's what I've heard a lot of people say to me, is they'll put it back like 5 seconds, just have to deal with like the much longer chat delay, and then it's okay. Or it gets spoiled, because I mean, hey, it's like I said, it's so awkward because my ESPN is so slow that whenever I'm on an ESPN game, I'm so far behind everybody else that I'll have people in comments replying about a play I haven't even seen yet. Ball is snapped, looks in the middle of the field, he's getting pressured, and he slips. And it might be DC's ball. They haven't blown the flag technically. It's fun. What the? Okay, so either A, Columbus gets the ball and it's going to be all the way back at their own, like, 30-yard line. B, it's DC's ball at about their 40-yard line. Or C, it was never fumbled officially and they're just going to lose a few yards. It's the former. Columbus gets the ball all the way back at, like, the 40-yard line. Like, their 40-yard line. They are calling it a double fumble. Oh, my goodness. Fumble 1. Clear fumble. That is a clear fumble on McClendon. Ball got stripped from him. It was picked up. Maybe. That might be down there. I got to see that again. Might be down. And then that was also a clear fumble. 2 clear fumbles, but the touch is what the question mark is. Was he touched by a Columbus Aviator player? Not touch, not touch, not touch. Ooh, that was close. 75 didn't touch him. Not at all. May have been Lovett. Lovett may have touched him. They got to show that again. Lovett may have touched him. He may have touched him just when he got up. Because if his knee wasn't down, I don't know why they're showing this angle. This angle doesn't matter. They're showing the drone angle. We already know this. Only issue with Louisville is the fact that Louisville Stadium is really small. Like, it is literally 15K max. Things like 15.3. That's the only thing. Like, I feel like they might think it's a bit too small for a championship game. Like, you might want it to be closer to, like, 20K. Like, at least you can say you can round it to 20K like Audi Field. That's the one issue, that one. DC is trying to lose this game. What did I just watch? You watched the UFL, baby. You watched two teams that are really playing to lose. Still in the review, technically. I think they're going to give this to Columbus. I don't know. Let's see. We can't count on St. Louis. Let's see. They're about to make the call official. Yep, sounds like the call is going to stand. It stands. Columbus gets the ball back. What is this game? That's awesome. They are getting the ball back. Oh my god, this is... Wait, they gotta go for this. Right, this is 4th down. They gotta go for this. Oh my god. And they still... This is 4th down. They gotta go for this. Oh, no, that's right. Okay, my bad. I forgot. It was a double fumble, not a single fumble. My bad. I forgot it was a double fumble. So it's 1st and 10. For a second, I forgot about that. Ball is thrown, it's caught, and they lose 8 yards anyway. Oh my god, it's now 2nd and 18. I forgot, it was a double fumble, so it was a 1st down. Crazy. Yeah, I have no words is the best way to put it. And you still lose 6 yards. Now it's 2nd and 16. 2nd and 16. Oh my goodness. Why might we give it back to DC with that play? This is a game. This is a game of all time. 2nd and 16 for Columbus. 10 minutes and 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. In shotgun. And nothing there. Delay of game on the... Oh my god, this game just gets... This gets better and better. This really is getting better and better. This is a game. This is one of the football games I've ever watched, for sure. They really are. Both teams are really trying to lose. There is at least like 4 instances you can pinpoint for each team where it's like, dude, what the hell? Like, I understand he thought he was taken down, but the age-old rule, if you do not hear the whistle, keep playing, and he didn't keep playing and he ended up fumbling. Like, what is this? Ball is snapped. Looks to the right side, looks to the middle, throws to the middle. Super check down. They gain about 1 yard. 3rd and 20. Oh, my God. 3rd and 20. Watch them get this. Watch them get this. A total of 1 yard. Yeah, you lost 6 yards, then took a 5-yard penalty, and you gained 1 yard in a check down. Dude, this is an awesome game for, like, so many reasons. Both good and bad. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left. Cardell Jones. 2 seconds left. Ball is snapped. Looks to the middle of the field. Looks to the left. He's rolling out to his left. He gets pressured. And it's a fumble again. Columbus retains. But they're going to lose another 8.5. They're going to lose like 11 yards on that. Oh, my God. He's calling his agent. He wants to come in at quarterback. Dude, no way. Another fumble, but Columbus gets it. His own lineman fumbled him. His own lineman punched the ball out. You can't make that up. His own lineman punched the ball out of his hands. Clear as day. His own lineman betrayed him. Oh, my God. At this point, go for it. Honestly, true. You're going to go for it because he's going to take some stupid-ass penalty, and they're going to give him an automatic 1st down. punt is up, and it is at the 45-yard line, and he gets taken down at like the 49, and Columbus team. Dude, the punt landed like further back than where Columbus was before they fumbled the ball. Oh my god. Here's Owen lineman punched the ball out of it. It's like, you can't, oh my god. You can't make this up, dude. This is a game. This, when it comes time for the end of the year, and I do my top 5 game ranking, I would be stunned if this isn't top 3. I would be stunned. This is a game that you're going to remember. Is it for the right reasons? No. Not even in the slightest. But is this a game you're going to remember? Absolutely. For all the wrong reasons. What a game. Like, dude, seriously, what a game. The O-line must be a double agent, dude. McClendon getting benched, already know. Luis Bresta Columbus. Take them out, take them out, take them out. McClendon is done. Can I get 3 more fumbles? You might. I mean, seriously, back-to-back I know not all of you in this chat were around for 2024. If you watched the 2024, or was it 23? No, yeah, the 2024 Panthers versus Stallions game. You know which one I'm talking about. This is the craziest game since that one. I mean, like, that one was insane. It was literally back-to-back-to-back awful turnovers that you could call a mile away. This is that bad. Like, half of the points scored are because the other team handed them points off dumbass penalties and stuff. All the momentum wasted. Dude, at this point, I don't even know if either team has momentum. Dude, both teams might have negative momentum. DC just got a punt, They stopped Columbus, and they might have negative momentum. And Columbus, my god, they've got, like, super negative momentum. Personally, I'd fire Ginn tonight. Dude, this is something else. This is something else. This is a game. This is one of the games of all time. This is a great game. My god. Dude, and the worst, I don't know, this is, put in Aiden saying, technically the backup is Jalen Morton. That is the backup. So they put in someone else that will be Jalen Morton, which I would say, hey, bro has never gotten his shot. He got, like, dude, even Birmingham never let him have his shot. And he ended up doing so good in the arena leagues, dude. He was so good last year in the indoor league, or AF1, but they're showing all the wrong highlights, dude. I want the fumbles. I want the double fumble highlight. I want the back-to-back interceptions. Dude, especially Tatum was, oh my god. Well, really both of them were bad, but yeah. 24-14. Oh, and back to someone saying this is the highest scoring game. I don't know about that. Mike Rapoli showing up. Look at him. Anybody in the bench for Columbus. At 1st and 10, DC is not able to punt. They are technically at, like, literally the 49.7 yard line, so they cannot punt the ball if they do get stopped. Ball is snapped, they hand it off, and it's going to be about a 3-yard rush for DC. Is he shorter as Brock Ewart? I believe Brock Ewart is a big guy. I believe he is like 6'4", 6'5", I believe. Might even be taller than that, actually. Let's see. Wow, I was right. Literally 6'4". So yeah, he literally is 6'4". I honestly can't believe I pulled that. That's a deep pull that means nothing. Yeah, I believe it was the 24 conference championship game because they had one game that was insane. Yeah, it was that year. Ball snap, they run up the middle. First down, then some. Keeps going, that's a touchdown. 20, 15, 10, 5 touchdown. Deion Jackson with another touchdown. That is probably the dagger. 30-14. But yeah, the 2024 USFL title game, you had like one quarter for sure. It was the second or third quarter where you had like 6 turnovers or something just insane. It was an insane one. Yep, 30-14. DC has the lead. Or crazy true. Look at that touchdown run. Yeah, do I dare pull up this? I'm going to wait for this to update, then I'm going to pull up the stats. Okay, let's look at these stats now. Fox won. Even if you, like, do what I always do. Eliminate your longest rush. Eliminate the longest rush. That is still damn near 5 yards a carry. Oh my god, this is elite. Dude, look at the stat line. What? This is... Dude, Te'amu was just... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I talked to you. I'm not going to say anything. The stat line is what the stat line is. I mean, hey, we watched Jack Plummer throw a horrid amount of checkdowns and get a ton of yards. So, hey, Te'amu, just don't turn it over, man. You're doing a great job hitting that ball to Deion Jackson. Stop shooting yourself in the foot. Honestly, no, but you're not wrong. It is still technically a 2-possession game, which is hilarious. But it is still a 2-possession game, technically. So, hey, never say never. Again, after watching the Brahmas Showboats game back in 2024, dude, I'll never say game's over. After that, 28-3, what Duke just did, or what to themselves and what UConn did to them, any of the 0-3 comebacks, like, yeah. Yeah, dude, I know people were talking about The Rock finally posted about the UFL for, like, the first time in, like, a year or something like that, and everybody's like, lol, because, like, he finally is, like, acknowledging that, yes, he is a co-owner still, but yeah, Mike Rapoli doing his job. Aviators got to start doing better on offense. They got to start doing better everywhere. Like I said, again, it's like speaking it into existence earlier, talking about that run defense, man. Biggest concern was that run defense, and my God, they are getting gashed on run defense. That, and then the offense, it's just... something else. It may tank the attendance. We'll see, because, like, San Antonio's attendance did fall a lot last year during that terrible season, and it still ended up being pretty solid. So never say never about it really affecting the attendance, but it definitely could for sure. Do you mean cut by 25%? Cut by 75% means only 25% shows up. Like, if they're going to be cut by 25%, I wouldn't be shocked. 75%, that's a shock. Okay, that's like going from 20K to 5K. I hadn't seen that happen. They did beat the over, so not getting no perfect prediction on this one, but hey, looking to get 2-0, I believe, so I'll take it. Yay! 2-possession game. I mean, hey, it is a touchdown and a 3, a touchdown and a 2. I mean, hey, you're the Brahmas fan. You know damn well this game is still within reach. You did not deserve to beat the Showboats in week 2 years ago. You guys scored 2 touchdowns in 55 seconds, got the 4th and 12, got the extra points. You know damn well this is still technically alive. I know you know that. You remember that game, Steven. Kick is up, his return, oh, and it bounces, going to be a touchback, but it hit the landing zone. Hey, don't act like you don't remember that. Showboats, Brahmas, Showboats looking to be 2-0. 55 seconds left, San Antonio scores. They get the 4th and 15 or 4th and 12, and they score again to win the game. Oh, my God. I mean, didn't it also happen in 2023? Didn't the Brahmas or the Battlehawks also do it that year where, like, the Battlehawks scored twice in, like, 20 seconds or something like that? Oh, my God. Brahma fan, by the way, the Aviators now. Man, dude, did all of you guys go to the Aviators instead of the Storm, even though the Storm are the same team? Because I've heard a lot of Showboats fan being Louisville Kings fans now. Ball snapped, and McClendon is out, it looks like, I think. I think that's Jalen Morton in right now. It might be another interception. Oh, my God. No, it can't be. If it is, bro, I'm not going to call this. I'm just going to yap about the game. Until something drastic changes, not ready for the job. Yeah, I mean, granted, like I said, grain of salt. Week 1, it was Redmond against McCarran. But of the 3 guys that never had coaching experience, Ginn did look like the weakest one. That's a fumble. That's a fumble, DC's ball. So, Steven, my bad. It's over. It's over. Oh my God, it's over. Of course, I remember. That game was insane, dude. I remember being like, oh, because that was like, I don't know what to say. Oh, dude, no, that's disrespectful as fuck. Isaiah Henney just posted, man, Mike Nolan. Oh, that's a deep cut right there. Oh, man. That's a deep cut by Isaiah Henney saying that. That's deep. Because remember, this team should have had Mike Nolan. Oh, my God. A rush to the left, 3-yard gain. Is that's rough. I actually went with the Aviators because of Ginn. They rush it up to the left. It's going to be about a 6-yard gain. My God, that's just so bad. This is a game, dude. I don't even know what to say. Like this is something else. I did also because of the homie Ginn, close to my family. Like, dude, it's the same reason why. Like, it's why I did not want to get fully invested in a team. Because it's like, dude, when I saw they hired 2 former Panthers and Todd Haley from my beloved 2022 UFL, I was like, man, dude, maybe. And I was like, nah. They throw it. It's going to be caught for about a 5-yard gain and up to the 10. The 5. Touchdown! DC makes it another start. And it's another touchdown. Oh, man. And, dude, the team was so good. Dude, such a shame. My goodness. My goodness. There's 3 guys in front of him. There's no way. This is so bad for the Aviators. Yeah, bloody cut. Oh, my God. We did it again. This is so bad, dude. This is so rough. This is something else. This really is something else, dude. I don't even know what to say, for crying out loud. This is so bad. Oh my God. Todd Haley has to lead this team. Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad call. It really wouldn't make him the de facto, not even the de facto, make him the actual head coach. That's not a bad call. Week 5, is that the Gamblers Aviators? Are you already throwing that much shade to them? Like, I understand, but like, damn, that's quick. The attendance will definitely drop. Yeah. Yeah, they will. Unless Mike Rapoli hits him with the 70. What if he hits him with the 37% off? My bad. 38% off. 1% off for every point they allow. Feel bad for the Vans. They actually sold it quite well. Dude, they sold so much they had to actually add more seats, and then those seats got bought up like that. I mean, they like only added them for like a day. Oh my God. How was this game just 20-14? Because DC was literally shooting. This is what happened. DC shot themselves in the foot. Columbus put a shotgun to their own knee. That's what happened. That's honest. That's the best way to describe this game. DC shot themselves in the foot. Columbus blew out their kneecap with a shotgun. That's the biggest difference. Because, my God, something else. Right now, I would say it's still St. Louis. St. Louis was the only team that headed into week 1 with hype and actually lived up relative to it. Even though Birmingham won, it was a rough win. And Dallas didn't have that sort of hype. So I would still say St. Louis is the team to beat right now. Well, let's call it like it is. Whoever wins on Tuesday is the team to beat. That's what it is. Whoever wins that game is the team to beat. And so that's the team to beat. But DC, they're still looking really good. This is why I didn't drop them hard. Like, I said that take was either going to age like milk or fine wine. And right now it's aging like some wine, even if it is a very weird win. Because I said it was 1 week. They're going to bounce back. Now, did I expect them to do this? No, but this ain't really them doing it. It's also Columbus doing it themselves. Because, man, yikes. Like, dude, I'm loving seeing this because I'm seeing everybody blaming somebody else. If you ask me, number 1 blame, Captain Munnerlyn's run defense. The run defense, so bad. Again, last week, only 1 team had a consistently good ground game, and that was Orlando. And wouldn't you know it, Deion Jackson is going off tonight. So, and again, Jack Plummer, another thing, the checkdowns, the actual, like, literally short yardage possessions. Jack Plummer did nothing but throw 2-yard checkdowns and pieced them up for over 200 yards because his guys kept getting 40-yard receptions after the catch. Like, this Captain Munnerlyn defense is rough. For how bad the offense has played at times, the defense is bad. Dude, honestly, true, Sector, because it's like sometimes, like, no, we don't even know what to say. Like, when you're watching a fumble get fumbled again right after you had 2 drives of back-to-back bad interceptions, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's like, at some point, man, like, oh, man, it's just, this is a great game. For all the wrong reasons, this is a great game. That's what I would say. For every single wrong reason, awesome, fantastic game, without a doubt. Hilarious, wrong, terrible, whatever, funny game. Gonna be in the top 5. Adam, do you know that? I cannot say off the top of my head. DC might have it. DC in the championship might be it, but regular season, I don't know for sure. Not too shocked at that. 24 points is pretty bad, so I'm not too shocked at that. They're showing these odds again. Oh my god. Oh, dude, plus 425 is great bet. If you were a gambling man, that's great, solid. Throw $10 in that one, win like 42.50. That's a good bet. What am I getting a message on now? Is somebody DMing me about, oh my god, this game is terrible? And for, like, that reason? No, okay. Something else. DC is gonna put at 1 for this. And they rush to the right. They get the first down. Hey, they got a first down. They're past midfield. Oh, I just saw that for a second and got deleted. No, Steven. I think it may have been DC and last year's champ. Yeah, I think it might have been. Oh my god, this is a game. I'm gonna put my feet up over here. And they gain a few more yards. It's still McClendon. I thought they put Morton. Okay, I guess not. Okay, I guess not. Okay, you do you, Columbus. I'm the guy that said that DC should have benched Teamu for 2 weeks in 24 to see what they got in their backup. I'm just saying, you're down 24. I don't yes, it's a 3-score game, but it's a 3-score game. Put in Morton, see what he has, and then next week you can decide what to do. They might lose this game. W comment. And they keep going. You guys got the new young coach, right? Or the guy, I know it's the big question mark with him that he's with the younger coach or something like that. Steven, right, for the Giants, if I remember correctly here. I remember hearing something about that, but yeah. Maybe things change. They won't. Maybe they do. Maybe they score a touchdown here and they only lose by 20. This is one of those games. This is one of those games that we're just gonna enjoy. There's not much to take seriously here. Dude, literally as I say that ball got tipped by the defender's hand. I thought for a split second they were about to get another interception. If that happened, I literally was gonna put on some random quiz and just do that. Oh my god. Yeah, Toa's still great. I mean, he played great last year. He didn't even play a full season. His stats make it look like he played a full season. He didn't, and he still did what he did last year. It was crazy. Sticking by my team. Hey, I've watched enough terrible Bryce Young Carolina Panthers football over the past 3 years, so nothing really phases me. And again, like I said, I stuck through the 2022 Pittsburgh Maulers. I say stuck through I was a fan of the Maulers. I just watched them because I watched every UFL game because I was covering the league. And my god. Got Horton, all the former defenders Maulers guys, all the guys right there that were on that team. I'm sorry, that team was ass. That team sucked. And I had to watch that team for a full year. That's so... maybe CJ was right. Oh, no. We're giving CJ credit on offense? Dude, if Columbus pulls the unthinkable, dude, I might as well delete my channel. I'm not going to say that, because knowing that, they're damn well going to pull it off as soon as I say that. Up to the 20. But, dude, if they pull this off, DC needs to be eliminated. They need to be excommunicated from this league. If they blow a 24-point lead, the way this game's been going, no, it's over. It's over. It's done. Shut down the league. Oh, my God. What a game. This is such a game of all time. It really is. Something else, dude. In shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Running back to his left while ball snap. Looks to the middle of the field. Looks to the right. Throws the check down. Caught for a 4 or 5 yard gain. Solid play right there. Maybe CJ knew something. I don't want to give Columbus fans hope, but it technically isn't. You are 100% right. It technically is not over. That's not saying it like a dick. It legitimately is technically not over. It's just probably over. It's just probably over. It's not over, but it's over. Again, I've made the joke, not the joke, but I've said it already. Nobody thought the Brahmas were beating the Showboats 2 years ago when they were down 16 or I was 15 points down with 55 seconds left, and they ended up pulling it off. So never say never, even if it's over. You know what I mean? Talk about. I think Rapoli sent the message to let them make it a game for the sake of the league. It's not over. It's not over, bro. Let it ride, bro. If you're a Columbus fan, dude, let it ride. Keep going. Put up more points, more scoring, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure I've seen a team unorganized, so inept, just running around, not knowing what the F they're doing, absolutely awful, terrible. No way. Yeah, this is bad. If the Aviators want to win, they better stop playing possum. Better stop doing a lot of things. This is bad. 4th and 2 for Columbus. They're going for it. They need to. Let's see if they can do it. They won't. They will. They will, actually. It and shotgun. And there's a timeout. Or it might be delay of game. Columbus back at it again. Having to use timeouts because they're about to take a delay of game. Just like they did last week. Like 3 times. It looks like they're sticking with McClendon. That's the one thing. Ted Ginn very immediately in the training camp said he's our guy. So I get that the ideas are going to give him a very long leash probably, which could end up working out or not. Jalen Morton is their backup. If you remember that name, that's because he has been the on and off Stallions QB3 for the past couple of years. Last year he was up and down with the AF1, and he ended up winning like the Rookie of the Year and finished as an MVP finalist. Like really great season, but obviously it's the indoor football, so it's a slightly less level. But he's something that definitely has potential. Again, Skip Holtz had him on his roster for a couple of years. He just never ended up really playing. So, yeah. And then Aiden Sayin is the QB3 for tonight. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Adam, for the $2 donate. The Beer Snake is constricting all the way from DC. Dude, I really hope I get to go to DC this year. I really hope they end up having a championship there. They throw it, it is caught, and it's a first down. I really hope they put the championship game there. If it's in DC, I'm going to that title game. I love to be part of that Beer Snake. Again, thank you for the $2 dono, Adam. I can't wait till I see Luis Perez in Columbus. Maybe Columbus playing with their food. Okay. The hopium is a bit much. Yeah, this Beer Snake is looking pretty good right now. Hey, I tried to say... I saw people put this team as far back as 6 in the power rankings last week. I said, hey, wait a minute. It was one game. I think I saw somebody put 7, I think. I think I saw somebody put Columbus over them, I think. I said, hold on, wait a minute. It was 1 week. I'm going to move them to 3, move them 2 spots down. If they win this week, they're good. They get the W here. They get the W, man. Look, it's not just because I talked to Shannon and Teamu. It's because I was like, man, this team is still good. They just had a bad week 1. And think about, remember this. They're getting Yasir Durant back next week. So their offensive line is going to improve immensely next week. So they are still very much a team to beat, if not the team to beat. They had a bad week 1, and what they're doing to Columbus right now, considering what Orlando did with them last week, man, this is insane for them. Just insane. Minute left, 1st and goal. Well, Columbus has it. Okay. Ball is snapped. Looks in the middle of the field. Rolls up, runs up the middle. Cuts to the right. Gets down at about the 3-yard line. He got it. Again is an idiot, so yeah. What a game. Keep going, keep going. Well, Columbus playing. How is there still a crowd? Hey, they love their team. You know, it might not be going good for them, but they still want to love their team, which you love to see. 2nd and goal, last play of the quarter. Ball is snapped. They fake the handoff. They throw it, and it is caught for the touchdown. It is only an 18-point game now. 18-point game. Probably go for 2 here. Just want to make it 8-8-8. I would go for 2 here. Don't do anything risky going for 3. Just go for 2. If you fail it, you can go for 3 a couple times. I'd go for 2 here. He won't. He won't. He should, but he won't. I just got that feeling he won't, but we'll see. 2-score game. Hey, it is a 2-score game, technically. You know what I mean? It is technically a 2-score game, even if it's a 2-score game. Let's go over here. 2-point conversion attempt here. This is the right call. Ball is snapped. Looks in the middle of the field. Throws it to the right, and it is going to be incomplete. Who should I use in my backup team? Don't want to go over the front one. I mean, again, you could do the store. I mean, they were the Brahmas last year. I mean, yes, you're rooting for, Anthony Beck, a rival coach. But, I mean, you do have the former Brahmas players on that team. So, I mean, that's definitely a good option you can do. Kings are another team that has a really good fan base looking like. So, that's another one that you could do. Houston. If Columbus is this bad and then you have Houston, you won't. I don't know. I would root for the Storm. Honestly, if I were you, I'd root for the Storm. Even though they're literally across the entire country, that's who I would probably root for. Because at least there's things you can be like, hey, it makes sense to a degree, blah, 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 blah. That's what I'd probably say. It's still a 2-score game. Hey, it is still a 2-score game. You just got to get 2 3-point conversions, and you can't let them score at all. So, again, still a 2-score game. This is true. Just a 2-score game, as we'll call it. That's probably the best way to call it. A 2-score game, But we'll see. Let's see. So the Aviators start thinking about next season. Oh my gosh. I mean, maybe they should, honestly. Like, maybe at this point you kind of have to, but I don't know. Watch Deion Jackson. Oh my god, don't say that. Being like DJ's Rich, maybe to cover something. I'm sitting with my team. Remember Ace with the brother, a Bayside Bandit, more like a fumble return. Oh my gosh. There's a little bit too much hopium going on right now, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm just saying, a little too much hopium going on. If I'm going to be real with y'all. Need more hopium. Comes like they're hanging in there. I mean, again, never say never, but I don't know, man. It's looking pretty Jover. It's looking over. I mean, it is. I want to look at the box score real quick. What is the actual score technically right now? Oh, okay. Still not a ton, but that's right because they didn't really do much, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah. Still, just a wild one. That's for sure. It's definitely a game. My God. If we come back, we'll take this. I mean, if you actually pull off the comeback, that's gonna be insane. It's just like it's one of the things where it's like there ain't no way it's happening, but like you never know. But it ain't happening. That's what I would say. Like if you're saying it's gonna happen, there's a whole lot of hopium, but it's not like it's officially over. It's just that it's over. So yeah, that's what I would say. And they're going to be at about the 30-yard line right now for DC on this play. A comeback win. Oh my god, it would be great for the league. The people that are watching this game, dude, it would be so good for the league if they ended up actually pulling it off. 100% agree. That'd be insane. Let's see, what's this? What are being posted? We just got the nose of, it looks like Javonte Payton is back for Louisville, so they get him back after losing Jay Adams. So, you know, at least they get something right there. And yes, there's the big thing that really sucks, that if you're in like the DC area, rush up the middle for about 9 yards, that if you're in the DC area, like 4 of the UFL games are not going to be able to be viewed on Fox there, which sucks because of just the national. So, yeah, not great, but it is what it is. Not seeing the attendance numbers yet for this game either. We'll see in a second. Second and 2. Ball is snapped. They hand it off, and it's a first down for DC. Yeah, not seeing any attendance so far for this one. Where did the crowd go? I mean, they getting kind of pwned. I'm not shocked that not everybody wants to stay and watch their team get absolutely creamed like this. Just saying, I'm not super shocked at that. 13 and a half minutes left. Ball snap, they hand it off, cuts up the middle, gets about 3 yards on the carry. I'm not a big fan of the Tuesday game. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not. Like, I do understand the idea of it. But if you're not going to truly make it a basketball-themed game, I do not understand why you would do it. That's what I would say. That's how I would view it. Ball snapped. Talmuth throws it deep to the right, and it is incomplete. There is a flag. This could be DPI, though. Okay, defensive holding. First down. He's under 100 yards. Gotta love it. I didn't want to be competitive, but I'm thinking out of my team because DC lets the Aviators come back. Yeah, I mean, if DC ends up actually losing this game, that'd be hilarious. That would actually be, like, comical. But, yeah. I wouldn't say that. I mean, hey, he ain't having a great start to the season, but they're winning. He doesn't need to throw the football. Like, if you don't need to throw the football, you shouldn't. It's the biggest issue the Eagles had. Like, they would end up, throwing so often last year, even though they should have ran the ball more. Obviously, part of it was the O-line, but... Like, if you can run the ball, you run it. You don't throw it when you don't have to. Rush up the middle, get 4 yards in the carry. And any score makes this a 3-score game again. So, like, I know we've said it's over, like, 4 times. But if they score here, it really is over. One of the fumbles, his own lineman punched the ball out of his hand. Another one, he was trying to keep the play alive too much, and he fumbled it. And the other one was just a more traditional fumble. But one of them ended up not really mattering a ton because then the DC fumbled it on the fumble return. So just wild, but yeah. 2nd and 7. Let's see what DC does here. What the? How did this fall? Something just fell. It wasn't even in a position to fall. They throw it in the air and it's caught. That could have been intercepted and ends up being caught. They're going to call it. Wow, they're going to give it a first down. Okay. A debatable one, but they're going to give it the first down anyway. So, first down, DC. First and 10, 11 minutes left. Ball is snapped. They hand it off to the right, and it's going to be a 5-yard gain, 10-yard gain, 15, 20, up to the 15, the 10, and he's down to the 8-yard line. Okay, DC's about to score again. Oh, my God. It is not looking good for them at all. That's for sure. Definitely not looking the best for them right now. What a game. Still a 2-score game. Hey, this it's a 2-score game still. I think it's about to be over. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's about to be a not 2-score game very soon. Ball is snapped. They hand it off to the right. Oh, they do stop him. He actually loses a couple yards there. Okay. They'll take that. Mm. New post. Dude, hit the pick six, man. Hot dogs are only 50 cents. Second and goal now. And it's incomplete. They're calling on the field. Remember, you only need 1 foot in bounds. This might still be a touchdown. You'll see in a split second. Let's see the replay here. Again, remember, you only need 1 foot in bounds, but you obviously have to still be in bounds. I don't think that's it. His foot wasn't in bounds. His toe was, and it may have hit the ground first. I wouldn't call it a touchdown. I wouldn't. If you call that a touchdown, you're really stretching the definition of a touchdown. Ball snapped. Oh, and it's a fumble. They failed the handoff. Something happened. The ball bounced in the air. Columbus said they have it. I don't know if they do. Nope, DC has it. Almost pulled it off. Almost got the insane one, but nope, doesn't look like they got it. Yeah, you can. That's 100% the truth. You can definitely tell they have a first-time DC. That is a great point, because it ain't looking good for them. So they're going to go for a field goal here. That's the right call. Make it a 3-score game. Right call is definitely to kick it. Kick is up. It is good. 41-20. This is not looking good for them. That's for sure. Let's see. Dare I see if we're trending? I know we're not, but you know. Oh, okay. Gino. Okay. About to say Gino trending. What happened? But yeah. Okay. No. Not trending. Oh, so sad. The game where we're getting crushed isn't trending. I'm so stunned. 3-score game. It's so bad, dude. This is such a bad one. It's just looking really bad. What a game. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just so bad. Still not seeing any attendance. We probably won't get attendance for this one for a while, though, sadly, but yeah. Box score. Is it bad now? Like, is it really bad? Oh, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that either. There we go. Dude, they're not even really using Deion Jackson anymore. Dude, this is so bad. This just can't. You can't make those so bad. Teamu has no passes. He's not even throwing the football, and they're just winning. Columbus might have. Might have just where they want. I won't celebrate till it's zeros. Edgy, dude, it's so bad. Like this is hilarious. This really is comical how bad they are right now. Like that run defense, oh my god. The run defense is doing nothing. The short passing defense is also doing nothing. And the offense isn't really much better. Man, they shouldn't show that clip. That clip just probably pissed so many Defenders fans off. Seeing Jaden Mickens helping throw that on there after seeing what he did for for Birmingham, and not for you. Oh man, dude. Could you imagine they still had Mickens? Holy crap. Even Roland, like either one, come on. Yeah, I think everybody said, nah, we good. We're watching their home team getting crushed. Yeah, I mean, dude, so many left. I mean, they're watching their team getting obliterated. They're down 21 points with 8 minutes left. I'm not shocked they left. Returns up to the 20. Gets taken down to 20. Like, dude, even the coverage game is so bad. Like, last week we saw routinely teams are getting the ball to 30 to the 40-yard line. Columbus has had, like, 4 kickoffs that they're recovering or returning that they don't even get to the 30. Like, even on the kickoff, like, they are getting beat at every single level of the game. It's so bad. Like, this is bad for them, for sure. 8 minutes left. I got a feeling DC wins this one. Columbus or Houston. I mean, we've only seen one game from Houston. So, like, technically it would be Houston because they looked bad in the only game they played, whereas Columbus at least, looked semi-competent last week. But this is rough. This is rough. This is one of the, like, most, like, this really is, like... It's not even like I can say it's true bell to ass, because, again, like, early on, DC was winning because of Columbus making mistakes, but the second half has just been domination. Reception to the left, check down, gets about 15 yards. Going to call him out of bounds, probably around the 13, 12-yard line from where he got it. Still a solid play, but again, because you had a bad kickoff return, again, you're not really getting a ton of yardage there, so you kind of screwed up in that front. 7.5 minutes left in the game. Honestly, if I'm Columbus, I don't even know if I really want to keep scoring. Part of me just wants to not make this worse, because you do not want to... If you let DC put up 50 on you, that'd be hilarious. If DC scores a touchdown, they got to pull a Jim Harbaugh, go for 3. Pass is thrown over the middle. Oh my god, it's almost intercepted twice. And it's an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 for Columbus. 19 to 31 for 116 passing yards. That's a stat line you literally can't make up. That is such a bad stat line. Like, that's egregious checkdowns. Like, that's so bad. For the wrong reason. 7 minutes left. 2nd and 10. I'm going to root for the Renegades. They throw it to the right. It's caught for a 7-yard gain. Look at Ted Ginn, man. Oh, that is so bad. Again, it's like what Isaiah Henney said. Mike Nolan wanted to keep coaching. They said... They literally pulled the Colin Cowherd. You know the classic, LeBron, we're good. Ben Simmons is here. Nolan, we're good. Ted Ginn is here. I understand that, there's rumors they're going to bring him back as the head coach of Panthers in 2028. But if that doesn't happen, my God. Almost a good quality play, and it's an incomplete pass. 4th and 4. Let's see. Does Columbus really think they still have a shot? If they really think they still have a shot, they go for this. If they admit it's over, they kick it. Because they have not crossed the 50 yet, so they can punt. If they punt, it's over. Like, they're admitting it. If they go for it, they really think they still have a shot. They're still going for it. Oh, my God. They think, bro, what is Blood thinking? Dude, DC should put up 50 on him. If they don't... Oh, they're on that side. Oh, I'm looking the wrong side of the thing. Oh, they're forced to go for it. My bad, chat. That's on me. Passes... Oop, nope, he evades a sack, and he gets the first down! And then some. Again, like, credit where it's due. When he's been scrambling, like, forward, he's been good. Like, him running downhill, he's been great. He's making good plays. He's getting the first down. He's doing what you should, get the first down. That's about it, though. Like, that's where the positives begin and end, is the trio of running backs honestly is a good idea, and it's looking at to a degree. And McClendon going downfield is good. Everything else is bad. And I agree with what Brandon just said. There's too much talent team. Like, it's just... Quick check down to the left. And it's up for 5 yards after he evades the first tackle. Gets about maybe 6. Yeah, especially with Todd Haley being the OC, you would expect it to be better. mean, the biggest problem is the run defense and short pass defense. That is the biggest Achilles heel of this team. Like, it's what's gotten them into trouble now 2 weeks in a row, because that's the biggest reason why like DC's putting up so many points and why Orlando was able to do enough. They are the only team in week 1 that actually looked bad on run defense, and their short pass defense has looked bad again here. Because it's not even like Talon's having to do a ton, because some of these rushes are like check down passes that tend to go behind the line of scrimmage and all that, or behind where he throws. It's just rough. 2nd and 4 for Columbus. 3 receivers to the right. Ball is snapped. Rolls up in the pocket, throws it over the middle. Actual good play up to the 10-yard line, up to the 5. And he's down at the 2-yard line. I mean, hey, it's a 3-score game. It's not over. They score, they go for 4th and 12, and they score again. They can go for 4th and 12, and they can score again, and then they win. Right? Not too bad, not too hard. They got this. Come on, they got this, dude. Hopium. Inject the hopium in the veins. We got this. They're putting damn near everybody right next to the center. Looks like DC called the timeout, I think. Or some sort of timeout, yeah. Yeah, they still have the 4th and 12 stuff. They still have it. It's just that, I mean, we even had it last week. I forgot who did it. I think it might have actually been Columbus or Houston. One of them did attempt it. Like, it's still in the league. It's just that, yeah. The drone. Uh-oh, Giannis is saying that he's being held out while being healthy. Uh-oh, we apparently don't like tanking in this league, even though that's like half the damn league now. Yeah, that's one way to put it, UFL. Oh, man, that's a debatable meme. I gotta download that. That's a debatable meme in the future that I could use to the members squad. I don't know. I don't want to keep changing it, but that's a good one. Where's my memes? UFL memes. I mean, hey, that goes well with the other one. He had his chance to leave. Scroll down. Like, I know we joked about it earlier, but like the NBA, man, there's so many issues with the NBA, and it's like tanking, load management, the NBA media. It's like so rough. It's like, I genuinely can't understand how it is the 2nd biggest sport in America. I really can't, because there's like the league is so many issues. It's crazy. Like, dude, you have an MVP race where for the first time in literally like 30 years, we're actually acting like defense matters for the MVP race. We never did that last decade. Now all of a sudden it matters. I won't say that. Giannis did matter to a degree, but not a ton. And then like true shooting percentage, like, dude. Nobody gave a single crap about true shooting percentage 4 years ago, and all of a sudden it's the most important stat in basketball. Like, okay, whatever. Not all games, Adam. I do every Friday night game. That's a undebatable. Every Friday night, and then one other game that is voted on by community heroes in the community hero tier, $2.99 tier. So the other game I'm streaming this weekend is the Easter game between the Gamblers and the Stallions. I might be a bit late to start that stream. I shouldn't be, but that's the other game I'm streaming. So I do 2 streams every week during the season, the Friday night game, and then one other one. Have a good Easter weekend, Steven. I hope you have a good one. I know most people get either today, well, get today, I say get today, but either got today or get Monday off, so I hope it's a good one for you. And I hope to see you on Sunday stream, too. The USL game can, yeah. I remember there was a couple of them where the drone was just super loud. You could keep hearing it everywhere. One thing I will say, Nolan, is again, it was week 1. So not every team was fully gelled, and DC was one of them. It's why I only moved DC down 2 spots. I really did say that they were not going to look this bad in week 2, and I'm glad I said that. Like, a lot of people, like, that are other content creators going to be like, oh, man, we really moved DC too far down. It's like, it's like I said, right? If Seattle loses next year, or next season, in week 1, you're not going to drop him to 17 in the power rankings, right? It's just 1 week. Touchdown, but there's a flag. So, DC is just a great team. But, yeah. Friday night games are great. I'm off on Friday. Nice. Big W. They don't know what I have more copium for Columbus making the comeback tonight or Avengers Doomsday trailer dropping on Monday. Oh, my God. I'll be here. Nice. I'll see you on Sunday then. Hope you're here the rest of the night if you end up leaving now. But, I mean, hey, they scored a touchdown. It's, the Colin Field stands. It's only a 15-point game. mean, hey, they could do it. They won't. Or, oh, penalty got taken off. No, I thought they called it. Okay, come on, Fox. Put your scoreboard up. Going for 3 here to make it a 12-point game. Okay. Not against it. That actually makes sense because then you can go for touchdown, go for 3. Not a bad call. Not a bad call. Not egregious. 2-score game. Ball is snapped. Oh, he gets tripped, but he's still going. He gets tripped again, and he fumbles the ball again. I think he was down by contact, but if that's another fumble, oh my god, that'd be great. It's because I joined my friends in a fantasy league. Besides from that, I couldn't tell you the last time I paid attention to the league. All I know is like the MVP race. Like I said, 2nd and 6, we're probably going to do the NBA MVP talk. Finally going to have that as a topic. We could have done that for both the 1st and 2nd episode. Matt and I are probably going to talk about it this week. I'm going to have a lot to say. That's going to be like probably almost a 10-minute, at least 5 full minutes of a topic. Because I have a lot to say. The MVP race this season has been such a joke this year. It really has. Where they keep changing what it means to be MVP. And it's like I was talking about earlier, right? The NBA media, dating back to even like the Jordan time, right? They never want to give a player too many MVPs. It's why they didn't give Giannis the 3rd MVP. It's why they didn't give LeBron like a 5th MVP. It's why they didn't give Jordan another MVP. It's why Jokic hasn't. Like, Jokic should be a soon-to-be 5 straight MVP winner. He should. He shouldn't have won the first year. He should have beaten Embiid, and he should have beaten SGA last year, and should beat him this year. He won't, because they don't want to give a single player a ton of MVPs. Just like next year, no matter what Shea does, he's not winning it. Shea's going to get it this year. He's going to have a better season next year and not get it because they don't want him to be a 3 straight MVP winner. That's just how the NBA media works. It is the most egregious one. The NHL media doesn't care. They will keep giving the damn award to McKinnon and McDavid if they want. MLB media is arguably the other way around, where if you win it once, they're going to spam you that MVP every year. Because, like, Judge getting it last year, very debatable. I understand the batting average was a big difference, but Cal Raleigh was, a catcher, very big difference being a center fielder. So, arguably was robbed of MVP, but MLB is a bit different. MLB is if you win one MVP, they're going to just keep spoon-feeding it to you. There was the one year Vlad should have arguably won it over Ohtani, but, neither here nor there. NHL's the best. NFL is, like, in a weird way, second best, outside of the fact that if you forget the fact that they only give it to quarterbacks, they're the second best, but obviously the quarterback issue is the biggest one. But, yeah. So I decided to sit McClendon. That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good call sitting McClendon. I mean, hey, it helps, with Austin Reed being there. I remember you telling me about that. Getting him on your team is huge, but yeah. Oh, my God, they really did this. That's so bad. That math checks out. Official partner, Piggly Wiggly with them. They're going for the 4th and 12, baby. It's still a game. No attendance yet, by the way, for anyone wondering. Well, let's see if they can get this. If they don't, DC's getting the ball. They're in pretty good field position. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. It is a 15-point game. Still a 2-score game. They got to get to the 40-yard line. Their own 40. Ball is snapped. He's pressured. And he gets taken down. He just sat there like a statue. And that is, for all intents and purposes, game over. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. That was Columbus's last-ditch effort right there. DC getting the W. I'm very confident. I'm going to literally already post my game picks recap thing for the first game, saying I'm 2 of 3 because I know damn well it's over. Let's see, I had a 22-16. Oh, yeah, definitely didn't. Dude, DC by themselves hit the over. That's hilarious. That is insane. By themselves, they hit the over. Weak trust. Yeah, already posting that. I do not feel bad about already posting this. Just gets, the worse it goes on. Dude, come on, DC. Get 50. Just do it. Just put up the 50 bomb. Statue of Liberty living on the back. That's a good call. Pretty sure you shadow pulled. We need PJ Walker. Oh, no. For gaming combat, I will be streaming the Sunday game. That one I will be streaming. The Stallions versus Gamblers, the Rebirth That Rivalry. I will be streaming that one. And that's the only other one this weekend. Do 2 streams every weekend, the Friday, and then the second game that's voted on by Community Heroes and the Community members tier, the community members of the community hero tier. Like I said, we only need 5 more members to get the final team emoji, but that's still a lot. We got 10, but we finally got the DC Defenders. Finally got all 7 of those, but we need 5 more for the Renegades. David Ayers. Okay, that's a hockey goalie. Let's stop there. Dude, if you say that name to a Maple Leafs fan, they'll literally want to shoot you on sight. I'm pretty sure. I think even still, they want to shoot you on sight if you say that name to them. Honestly, I don't think so. Number one, that one actually has like Kevin Sumlin has beaten the Stallions before. Like Sumlin was like one of the only guys that actually routinely, I say routinely, like he did more than once, but he did it once. And the fact is that it is a rebirth of a rivalry that, like, heading into the merger, that was like the second, at worst, third biggest rivalry in spring football. It was obviously DC St. Louis one. Second was some combination of really I would call DC St. Louis and Seattle one big 3-way rivalry. And then it was Houston versus Birmingham, because literally back-to-back years, Houston would just pull some magic BS out of their ass and beat Birmingham for no reason. Like the Micah Abernathy pick is still one of the most famous plays in my book for this era of spring football. And like I said, it was voted on by the community heroes. That was won 3-2 on the vote, so got that one. Yeah, 3rd and 10. I mean, hey, it's a field goal. It's still a 2-score game. If they kick the field goal, it's still an 18-point game. That's a 2-score game. So I mean, like, again, it's not over. Jam is not him. Like I said, next week is the one I would say. If they end up doing bad as well next week, then you got to bench him. But I thought this was a team that's going to take 3 weeks to get going. So we'll see next week how it goes. If they do bad next week, it's time to jump ship and go to Morton. I think Morton deserves a shot. He's one of those guys that has been in the league long enough. He deserves a shot. So if next week he does bad, like, I think it would be wrong for them to announce a change heading into next week. But if he plays poorly next week, then I think it's the correct decision to do it. Like, basically do it to where at halftime you're willing to switch to Morton. That's how I would do it personally. Dude, don't even... The fact that Deshaun Watson might actually, like, is probably going to be QB 1 or 2 is hilarious. In the big 2026, come on. But it was this was a very entertaining game. Like, this is still, even with it being a blowout, I still believe this is going to be in my top 5 favorite games or best games of the year. Like, especially the first half, even this half. It's just so much that was enjoyable about this game. The spread was 2.5. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was 2.5. Oh my god, dude. It's like I said. So many people threw this team under the bus. They said DC is not good. They're cooked. They're not as good as they were last year. And I was like, it was 1 week. Give it a week. And my God, have they looked so good this game. And, it's just what it... Dude, Columbus, they know they're on both stat. But, yeah. Ton of plays and dropped a lot of balls. Yeah, I mean, the penalties, the fumbles, like... Again, Columbus literally could have won this game. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It all went downhill with the double fumble. And that's what really screwed it over. Oh, no. For being... I don't know about that. Remember, it's still a 2-score game, technically. All Columbus has to do is get the kickoff, score a touchdown within probably a minute, get the 3-point conversion, go for the 4th and 12 again, make it, score another touchdown, get another 3-point conversion, and then hopefully either force the game to OT or right then and there, and then win an OT, right? Not that hard to do, right? I mean, anyone could do that, surely. Surely that's not asking for too much. Surely. Yeah, I agree. It really is. It's, it's not that difficult. We got to bring back, dude, the OG. Them and the Stars, man, it's so weird not having them be in this league. It's so weird, dude. Like, those are the 2 spring football icons. The one that was the juggernaut and the one that was the icon. Any other news? 50 ball, I guess that means Coop scored 50, I would assume. Yeah, Aviators got this. Defenders Generals, most generic names compared to the Battlehawks. Hey, the Generals are a classic name. But hey, I mean, dude, the NFL took the San Antonio Commanders name, so let's not act like it's insane. Panthers, yeah, and the Breakers. I mean, hell, like everybody, it's because people don't know the history, but like the Panthers in the OG were almost as big a juggernaut as the Stars. They made it to 2 of the 3 title games because the Invaders merged with the Panthers, and their 2 best players were from the Panthers in Bobby Hebert and Anthony Carter. So like they made it to 2 title games and won one. They're the only team that ever beat the Stars in a championship game back in the original USFL. So like they're a juggernaut too. The Breakers were a meme. They literally played 3 different cities in 3 years. But the Breakers of today definitely should be back. But we'll see. No, not the Sea Dragons. Bring back the Dragons, dude. Eliminate that C. Go back to the old logo. The 2020 Dragons. Great branding. Love that one so much more. And I know I've said it a lot. They're never going to do it because I'm pretty sure somebody owns it. But, dude, it'd be so cool if they got at least one AAF trademark, dude. Could you imagine the Arizona Hotshots being back in the league? Or the Birmingham Iron, dude. Put the second team in Birmingham. The Memphis Express. Let's bring back another Memphis team. $18-point game. It's doable. It's doable, technically. Will they do it? No. But they could. The Denver Gold. It's another one that I've been saying they should bring back. I think that's another one they really should bring back. The Gold would work really well in Denver. I think that would be a solid one. Denver has a lot of stadiums they could do, but yeah. What the hell? Do I have something over here? I guess I do. So let's see what happens. Okay, for those of you that are joining right now, Columbus needs to score a touchdown on this drive. Go for 3. Get 3. Then they have to go for 4th and 12. Get that. Score another touchdown. And score another 3-point conversion within 1 minute and 48 seconds. And then also win in overtime to win this game. So, it's doable. I guess. But we'll see. Maverick, dude, I love that. They're hiding the fact that he missed a kick. Again, Ryan Koo got robbed. He was 3 of 3 on field goals, made a PAT. He should have won it last week. But, hey. Picked the Generals. Didn't win back then, but it was cool. I mean, hey, you got the best player in the league. You got Herschel Walker, put him like 2,600 yards that 1 year. I mean, insane. Just should be in the Hall of Fame. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The USFL was pro football back then. Like, it was legit pro football. Though, like, the Stars, the Generals, Panthers / Invaders could have legitimately been playoff teams in the NFL. It's a shame that happened. Looks like it's a false start penalty. Great. Gotta love it. Like 5-yard penalty. Snap infraction. Yeah, they got Jalen Morton in right now, which, I mean, ahead. It's technically not over. But we'll see. Well, let's see. 1st and 15. Ball is snapped. And he's sacked. First play. First play sacked. And they're not even calling a timeout. That's them throwing in the towel. They're throwing in the towel. Man, there's like nobody left. Everybody's gone. Ball is snapped again. Pressured again. Slips, stays on his feet. Throws it deep over the middle. It's intercepted. Go for the touchdown. No! Oh, why would you go down, dude? Put up 50. Dude, remember, they still train, like, within the same city. Do you know how much of a dick you could be if you said, we put up 50 on you? Oh, my God. Oh. Dude, come on. That's lame. That's lame, bro. He should have done it. That'd have been so great. Oh, my God. Hate to see that. Hate to see that, man. That'd have been so funny if they went for the 50. They're going to kneel it. That's GG. Game over. They are cooked officially. They are DONE done. Yeah, for the first home game, this is not what you want to see. There are a lot of Aviators fans that are not going to come back. Like, there's a losing, and then there's getting BTA'd like this from a final score standpoint. This was a rough one. I mean, 44-26, my God. Oh, you picked them to win? Oof. Oof, that's all I can say. But, yeah. Yeah, Ted Ginn, yikes. Yikes. That's all I can say. This was a close game. At least Louisville only lost by 2. Hey, they looked better than the team they lost to. I mean, they looked like the better team, so they looked really good in their game. This one, not as much. Oh, my God. They got to play Dallas twice in a row. Oh, my God. Yeah, so they are starting at best 1-3. They are losing one of those games. They probably lose. They're not having seeing what they're going to do in week 2 against St. Louis. They're losing one of those 2 games. Columbus is losing a minimum one of those 2 games. They are not going 2-0 against Dallas. And this is how we should have played in our opener against Battle Shakens. Have something in common. They both had a chance to win. They lost at home. Yeah, I mean, the Storm got the job done. They're only one of the expansion teams that actually won in their home opener. This was a bad one. This was a bad loss for Columbus. This is a rough one. I mean, it really doesn't get much worse than this one. Really not even much to say. There just really isn't. Yeah, the Battlehawks, part of it is that, but part of it is also that it was week 1. They were getting back into action. It clearly was that even though they had the cohesion, they just weren't back together. Again, they're going to get their end as well, so... This was a game. This was a game of all time. Hilarious game in terms of like the first half. Even the second half was still wildly entertaining. I mean, let's look at the box score before we head out. Teamu literally threw for 99 passing yards, and it's not even like he had to do anything. He didn't have to do anything. Look at this, dude. What is this? Yes, I know this is egregious. This is egregious. But, dude, 6.4 yards a carry. Holy crap. L run defense. Just crazy. And then even these, like, dude, these are rough. 6 TFLs, 2 interceptions, just awful fumbles. Game stats, they should show the fumbles right. Bad. Could have been even worse. Let me see. Am I seeing that as well? Maybe. I have not seen the official attendance. I'd honestly be shocked in a low way. I think that might be a higher announced number, but I haven't seen that yet. I wouldn't be shocked. That's at least what it is, but I haven't seen anything about that yet. But yeah, this was definitely one of the games of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Again, next one will be Sunday, Easter Sunday, starting at 5:45 p.m. EST for the Gamblers vs. Stallions game. Obviously tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow night, we have the second game between the Orlando Storm and the Louisville Kings. So make sure you go check that one out. And as always, guys, I hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you soon.